And we're live, right? Morning thoughts, morning thoughts, morning thoughts. Shout out to the people going out to work this morning. Shout out to the people coming in from work this morning. Extra special big up, shout out to the people who work multiple jobs. I have the utmost respect for you. Shout out to my entrepreneurs, my stay at home moms and pops, my retirees. Shout out to the drivers, the Uber driver, the Lyft driver, the truck driver, taxi driver, food delivery drivers, round town and long distance truck drivers. Shout out to every single person going out this morning or coming in, just out there to get your daily bread, right? By the sweat of a man's brow, so shall he eat bread. So we work for what we want. We have things called jobs and careers and these kind of things. And then entrepreneurship. Big up on yourself. You're working hard for yours, honestly. See? It's the freaking weekend, baby! Ha ha! Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. We made it through another week. We made it through another week. I don't know if you notice, but I feel like I'm in the middle of 2023 already. 2023 feel like it's flying fast. How did we reach March already and we just said Happy New Year? I feel like we just said Happy New Year like about 4 weeks ago. That's time is flying. Time is flying. So one of the message of the day is make sure that you're using your time wisely, my friend. Right? All who young now will be old just now. And I'm not talking about old and cripple up on your mind state of old, because you can be older in age and still be young in spirit and young in body, even if you take care of yourself properly. But I'm just talking about your age that you are now that allows you to say, oh, I'm pretty young, I still have time. Trust me, by the time you do this twice, you'll be like, how did I get here? Oh, my back hurt. How come you don't feel the same no more? Yeah, time is flying. I see it. You know, I heard my grandparents used to say, when you have children, you will start to realize how fast time is going. It's true. It's true. You watch them grow, and then you hear them start to call you old. All right, old man. Like, in my mind, I don't call my kids bitch. I'm like, did they just call me old? So how insulting. My daughter has a thing where she, Naka, every damn weekend, Naka goes, Dad, when's your birthday again? How old are you again? And it got to the point where it wasn't even funny no more, right? Because I'm getting defensive. When I look at my life where I'm at and I look at her and she's only 8, I'm like, damn, you know, you have time on your side. You just got here, kind of thing. Why? I say my age and she goes, oh, you're old. She calling me old already. I say if I'm old, what you call your grandmother? I just throw my mom under the bus. So don't call me old. Call your grandmother old. How old is grandma again? I tell her, ooh, she's super old, and starts making her Jesus jokes. Yeah. Anyhow, here we are this morning. Beautiful Friday morning, at the end of another week. We're giving thanks because, again, we are here, we're healthy, we're feeling strong. I have some soursop juice and lime mix up in a my cup this morning. So I'm feel put some soursop back in my back. These kind of things. If you don't know, soursop is good for many different things, but it is extra good for a man. I'm just saying. So if you're a man and you're watching this, uh, I don't know, get you a Caribbean woman in your life that knows about soursop, or ask one of your Caribbean brothers if you're not from the Caribbean. If you are, you should know. But ask your people them about some soursop and get you some soursop juice. Don't get the soursop juice when mix up with condensed milk and nutmeg, and they sweeten it up till it look like it tastes like syrup and it's thick and white. Get soursop juice, just the juice from the soursop, raw juice. Big up and shout out to True Juice out of Jamaica, but just get raw soursop juice and some lemon or lime in it, and you're good to go, my friend. Kata John Empress said, put the oil back in your back. Yes. Soursop me back, me back, me back. Yes, yes, yes. You have to. You have to put it back. Onika St. John Jones says safely through another week. God has brought us on our way. Yes, my friend. And we have to give thanks. We don't control this thing called time. So the fact that you keep getting more and more of these, it's another weekend, it's the freaking weekend. Yeah, you better give thanks because somebody ain't here to say it. And they were here last week. She doesn't know how she is to have you around, but she's going to learn. Lucky she is to have you around, but she's going to learn. Karen said, I'll go on. Anyhow, listen. She doesn't know how lucky she is to have you around, but she's going to learn. Hear me out. Here's our Karen, you got to tell me what that's about. Anyhow, get some soursop leaves and boil it for tea every morning. Throw some moringa in it. You know what? I had soursop leaf tea a couple nights ago. You know, listen, when we got Jamaica, right? I could run inside there right now. I just don't want to get up out this chair. When I'm leaving Jamaica, I am worried always because my wife, she now have these big bags of bush, and I don't want them to think like somebody mistake us for we're transporting ganja or something, because they look like bags of ganja, but it's clear see-through bag, and she have some big bag. Shout out to Auntie Cutie them. They make sure that we get the real Cersei. I had some Cersei last night, yesterday from Jamaica on the show, and the Cersei is so bitter. And the Cersei that we have here, I drink that Cersei like it's juice. It barely has any bitterness to it. The Cersei we carry back from Jamaica, it's strong, it's bitter, and you go into the bathroom, right? Regulating yourself won't be a problem after drinking it. So we carry up all these things. Guinea hen, we carry up soursop leaf, and to cue to them, make sure that we have with thing, because there's still those people who believe in natural healing. You know what I'm saying? So when I run go doctor for every little thing, we run got tea and we make these teas and they actually work. So we have a bag of stuff inside there. We just did some soursop tea. How I did the soursop tea, boil the soursop leaf, and sometimes I drink it just like that with no sugar. And then sometimes I put a little bit of sugar in there, like cane sugar. Raw cane sugar is what I use, by the way. I don't have no other kind of sugar. So some raw cane sugar, just a little bit, to take off the thing, not too much, and squeeze a lime in there as well in the tea. Boy, that thing bad. Even wifey wake up, and wifey is not type to drink like any kind of tea. I'll be forcing her to drink Cersei and stuff. But she wake up the next morning and she was like, "Yo, the tea you made last night, babe, that tea was good." It was the soursop leaf tea. Yeah, with lime in it and a little bit of cane sugar and these things. So yeah, we stay on top, and it's important to stay on top of these things, to my friend. Your health is your wealth. You know what I'm saying? My husband, the soursop leaf with Medina. Your husband, a big man. Even know what time it is. Steady the nerves and all these things. I remember my grandmother used to boil it for my grandfather too, with molasses. I remember one time my grandfather was working so hard, his hand started shaking like that. They didn't run to no doctor. He was having nerve problems, and grandma put him on molasses and soursop tea, and the man, the thing just disappear after a while. So yeah, these things do work. I've seen them work my whole life, and I still believe in them. Not true? I can't do the succeed, but pretty much everything else. You can't do the succeed. You can't do the Cersei. You can't do it, man. It's the Cersei tea I was giving my kids one morning, and them vomit. One of them vomit all over the dinner table. Oh, everybody is sitting at the table. I'm like, yeah, good morning, to give them a washout. And let me start off light with some Cersei. And I gave my son took the Cersei and then projectile vomited. All his food came up with the Cersei. Morning, live on the air with SouFLo.
Bless up flow, prosper.
Morning, family. What
You
going?
just turn on and hear talk about some sour sap and thing.
Yes, me have some soursop and lime in my cup this morning. I'm sipping.
You know that sour sap good for the picnic when them a teeth.
Picnic when them are teeth.
Yeah man, little young thing can sleep. That's what sour sap do.
Really?
Yeah man.
Me never hear that one before.
Yeah
To
man,
give
you
teeth
pick the
in
sour
baby.
sap, show them a teeth and so make them go sleep. And
Wow.
we use that and I could pick with them, my twins, them, and old
And it
people,
work.
them make that. Yeah, man.
Same way,
So
same way I didn't know say
anytime
lime good for your
people,
underarm, but I'm learning.
yeah, man, we learned that for a long time. Lime and regular green bush, man.
Yeah, me never know all that.
Yeah, man, the regular green bush, we grew up in a places where certain things are commodities.
Mm-hmm.
So as you say, the lime, you squeeze lime, and you have a certain other bush, then the old people then use an antique and they grind you see and put down the arm and so.
Yeah. Well, you know what? All that tell me is that we are, I would say, we're a special kind of people, and obviously we come from a certain lineage to know
Yeah,
these
yeah.
things and have these things passed down to us. So it's important for us to stay grounded in culture. Not true?
Yes, sir. You
Yeah.
hear about a bush called Shackleton?
No.
Okay, well, that is bush that good for coal and so. Real talk, now my youth man, them decide, whether change up and get coal and they make it like a tea bag business and so.
But you know what?
They say,
Sorry, but hold on
drink the
then.
Shackleton
Uh-huh.
and start them out and then believe in each other.
All right. Well, most Caribbean islands have the same things, but we call them different names.
True.
That as well. So probably we have it, but we call it something else. I'm
What you
willing to
call
bet.
sursi, they call that a bitter bush, and you have a yellow fruit on the call that a cold patty in Antigua.
Yeah, and you pick
And
up
then call them maiden blush and all.
right. You know the Cersei bush have the yellow thing where you just talked about on it.
Cold patty.
Yeah, that's all the cards. See, we have different names, but we have the same things. That's why I know say we are the same people. So anyhow, when you bust, wait no, let me say this. When you bust that thing open, you see the seed them.
Red seed them.
Yeah, you know the red seed them good too, right?
Yeah, man.
All right. High blood
You
pressure
have
and
that in
these
the grow
things.
out in California,
Ah, yeah,
and
we have it grow
in
here in Florida too.
pick cause they have them like hedged on the fence. I pick them, pick on them, look on them like, huh? And then all the people then start eat them.
Right. Yeah.
So maiden blush now, the same Cersei is like back in the day, it was the morning after thing. You have the morning after
Boil
pill.
it bitter.
The Cersei make things come down, bring down the thing when the thing late.
Me hear about that one there already too.
So, but we go. But man, I stand the show, big up everybody in the chat room and thing.
Big up yourself.
More strength.
All right, family. Listen. I see in Dominica, Banches says in Dominica, Cersei is called Kukuli. Them have the same Cersei, them just get a different name, Kukuli. And D-Mac says too much is poison, so be careful. I don't know about that, because me drink Cersei. There was a point gone where I used to drink Cersei every single day, boil it strong too, and drink it every single day. Like when me and baby just meet, we're around 2016, 2017, them time there, like those years, 2016, 2017, 2018, I was on Cersei like almost every day, and multiple cups of it per day. Me still there. It's 2023, right? My skin still clean and pretty and thing, and I'm still healthy and strong. So I don't know if I know poison nothing about Cersei, unless you're talking about something else, right? I do drink Cersei regular from when I was a kid and still love it, says Roland and Smichael. Me never like it when me did little. I just thought it was bitter and nasty, and grandma torture away with this thing every night at my grandmother's house. You had to drink Cersei. And she knew what she was doing. We know now what it meant. But back then we thought it was just torture. So me never like it. But as a grown man, I acclimated to the taste of it, and it also brings back memory, like nostalgic feelings. Remember when my grandmother used to give me this, but now it tastes good to me, and I don't drink it with sugar either. I just boil my Cersei real bitter and just sip through like that. Can't handle too much of the bitterness, Dorothy T said. Well, the sweetness not good for you either, and most things that we eat today contains a lot of sugar. So you want to neutralize that sugar in your system. So me will take the bitter because me free of the diabetes and them thing there. So it's like your food being your medicine kind of thing. So I look at it as this is me drink. I prefer a cup of Cersei than a doctor visit. I prefer a whole heap of Cersei than a diagnosis that says you have this or you have that. Not true? So me will take the bitterness. So much it doesn't even bother me anymore. Cersei, good to bathe and wash your skin too. That I've heard also, bunches. I've heard that one also. I heard it was used back then as that morning after pill, like the brother Mr. Prosper just said. It have many uses. We have holy pa bush, we have holy pa use, and that's that. Your taste bud and your body need the bitterness. Jane Anders said, yes, cause that sweet something there all the time. Every time I eat something sweet, my mind says diabetes. I don't know if it's because being in the long-term care facilities and seeing people go through that part of diabetes. Some people just hear about diabetes, they've never seen like the full effects. I've worked with people who lost their sight because of it. And then I've worked with people who have had amputations because of it. So it scared me in a different way. So yeah, when me I drink my Cersei, that's what I think about. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to end up like Mr. So-and-so, and I don't want to end up like Miss So-and-so. So in my mind, I'm taking precautions, right? The Buffaloso Dress says, I know how you say bittersweet, SouFLo, because bitter is like a healthy sweet to your body. Yeah, that well put right there. And Michelle Howell says, hey, watching on my tablet and had to switch to my phone because it doesn't open the field for me to text. YouTube is a pain in the you know where. And I see somebody else said they couldn't, or they're late because they didn't get any notifications this morning. Well, you know how YouTube do it already, right? Now I'm gonna big up too many names this morning. Y'all here, I see you here. I appreciate you being here. We're gonna get into the topics because we have quite a few to talk about. One of them that we're gonna talk about this morning is students fighting teachers. Students fighting teachers. And I'm gonna talk about students fighting teachers because a video came out of Jamaica yesterday with a student fighting a member of faculty. And I left a video message on another platform that said something has to be done immediately. I have a solution, or what I think could be a solution, a deterrent. Not only that, there was a video from the US of an oversized student fighting a teacher. I'm going to talk about that video as well, right? Big up to the teacher them, respect to the max, especially those teachers who are truly dedicated to and understand the importance. You are sharpening the minds of tomorrow's people, right? That will come run this place that we call Earth. So you deserve the utmost respect, right? And your environment to work in should be safe, and the people should rally behind the teachers. We're going to also talk about this one article here. A cheating husband implores men to be faithful. Wait till you hear what happened to this cheating husband, why he is now imploring men to be faithful. The news tightens and haunting words. Those will be under this whole Klansman one dan gang trial. Remember, I told y'all that the Klansman one dan gang trial had died for a while. Like, we weren't hearing much of what was going on. Well, things are heating up now. Things have heated up as Chief Justice Sykes has started handing out guilty verdicts. This is what the people wanted to see. They were cussing the judge before. Them said the judge looked like him afraid. The judge looked like gunman buy him off. Him look like him gonna make everybody go free and all this, and that's not the case. The man was merely doing stuff by the books, and it takes time. It's a court of law. It's not a court of opinions. And I was trying to explain that before. Well, we have some excerpts from the courtroom right here that we're gonna read through. This thing really, really reads to me like a Netflix series. If I think right now somebody who has this stuff together, like the crew, the cameras, the script, what you could just go straight off this script. You probably could end up being rich with a Netflix deal for a series. This series would be riveting. This series would be exciting. I would be happy to see it. knowing that it's a Jamaican story. But I would hope that them would use Jamaican people in it and it would be filmed in Jamaica. I'm looking for a filmmaker that I interviewed a couple of years ago. Brilliant. If anybody is out there in the Florida area and you are in touch with Brilliant, tell Brilliant to link up with SouFLo. I have ideas going on in my head, and I think Brilliant would be one of the people to, I would invest in something like that even. But this could be definitely a Netflix series. Seeing, but of course, we'd have to wait till it all unfolds. Wait till I hear the readings. And then there's a conversation happening that I think we need to have a part of. As new studies show that men are choosing to skip marriage these days, more men are choosing to skip marriage or opting not to get married these days. And those who are, more of those are choosing to go overseas to find wives instead of finding wives right here in the US where they live, born and raised. And we're gonna have a part of the conversation there. What's taking place? Like what a gone, what's the shift, what's happening, right? All right. Now, wherever you want to start off is where I want to start off. Let's start off with the teacher thing. A video is circulating of a teacher taking a beating in the US. And I did the video already for my other channel, but I will walk you through since I can't show you because it was graphic. This kid, is, and I shouldn't even call him kid, but he's a kid because he's 17. So a video shows a little slim teacher walk into the hallway. A woman walks into the hallway and she starts to walk down the hallway. All of it was caught on video. Then comes running a huge figure of a person, and he hit that woman so hard. I kid you not. I had to rewind and watch it like did the camera trick how far she flew because she fly about 6 feet away from him. Like body got off the ground and flew in air and landed about 6 feet. Yeah. And I thought, whoa. Come to find out, that kid is 6 feet 7 inches tall, 200 and think 280 pounds or something like that. That's a big old man. That's a big man of a man. I think grown men would be scared in that man's presence. 6'7", 280 pounds. He uppercutted that teacher, right? And the teacher fly. You know why he hit the teacher? He hit the teacher because he had a video game, a Nintendo video game in class playing it. The teacher asked him to put it away. He didn't put it away. The teacher said, if you don't put it away, I'm going to have to take it because you're disrupting my class. He's playing his video game again. The teacher takes it away and walks out the class. I guess she was taking it to the main office, give it to the principal. He's being disruptive. Before she could get there, she got beat down in the hallway. The first punch that woman got, she was knocked unconscious. The horrifying part of watching that video was watching that young man, 6'7", 280 pounds, beat that unconscious teacher. It reminded me of a video that I saw of a man that jumped into some wild animals. I think he jumped into a lion's cage in one of them foreign country there. And then the lions started like dragging and fligging him. That's what it reminded. And he was trying to play dead because, some people want to do crazy stuff until they realize, oh, I don't think this is what I really wanted to do. Okay, now I got to get out of this. So he started playing dead, even though the lion was dragging him. He died because the lion eventually ended up dragging his neck. And lion teeth in your neck side, puncture something. But that's what the video reminded me of when he was beating the teacher. The teacher was completely unconscious. Her hair was spread out upon the floor. The youth was wailing on her like big thumps coming down, big punches coming from the heavens, man. And beat her. He punched her a total of, I believe they said 17 times. And you thought that was enough, right? He stood up over her and started using his feet, 6'7", 280 pounds, and started stomping on the unconscious teacher's head. Update to the teacher, she was in the hospital. She did suffer some serious injuries, but she's home now and she is recovering. There's like a big old GoFundMe been set up by her daughter to help with her medical expenses and all these other things. But here's the kicker. And I rejoiced when I saw this part. His behind is front page news in Florida today, and his face is on the front of the newspaper. They don't normally put minors' faces out like that unless, and I found this out today, unless they are being tried as an adult. So this 17-year-old is facing up to 30 years and he is being tried as an adult. Right. So when I look at the video in Jamaica that happened in Jamaica yesterday, I don't want, let me see. If it's too graphic, I can't play it because what we will end up losing this whole discussion. YouTube will act in a certain kind of way where they block the video or something if it's too offensive. Let me have a look and see. Maybe it's not that much offensive, but this boy. Okay, y'all can go find it at Jamaica Observer. I hear all the other picking them a laugh too. That just got my nerves. Let's see what we can see from it. The teacher, somebody said yesterday that if we're talking about the same video SouFLo, that was the dean of discipline that he was fighting. I don't know the man's position at the school. Yeah, the one in blue is the student. The one in blue that have the thing wrapped around his neck, whatever that thing is. It looked like a mask or a scarf or something. It's not a part of uniform, obviously. In Jamaica, they're pretty strict when it comes to school and uniform. You can't alter your uniform and turn your skirt in a mini skirt. They're not going to let you into the school. You can't alter your school pants and turn it in a pencil foot pants and tight pants. They're not going to let you into the school. What part of this they don't understand, I don't know. See, some of us, like before, we were raised to respect authority. Even if we didn't like the school uniform, when them changed with school uniform, we used to go to school and be like, I can't stand that blue bush jacket here. I used to go and Knox. I was like, I can't stand that blue bush jacket here. It's ugly, man. It looked like the old what him name there. Mas Victor used to be the deacon at my church, and he always wore that one bush jacket. And we used to say, yo, this look like old people clothes. But we didn't go alter it. I take off the pocket them come in, things of them cool. I get mine make with a different mat. We respected that that's what the school uniform was. So there was no fight. You show up in the school uniform and you come to school to learn. These youths now, I don't know. I think that they are being empowered. They're being empowered because every time we see these videos where the students fight the teacher end up getting in trouble and the student don't really get nothing happen to them. So more students are saying, well, the most that gonna happen to me is like what happened to my boy. They were fight off Miss So-and-so last week. So nothing now happen. I think they need to start charging these students as adults. If you look at the mannerism of these youths, right, that end up fighting these teachers, they don't belong. there. They need to be in an alternative school somewhere, or if they can't like regulate themselves and their behavior, them no need for their own other people. Because if them can't fight teacher like that, imagine what they doing to the other students. The other students are in school terrified. The other students are in school feeling intimidated in their presence, right? So a bad man and bad girl are go school. And these bad man and bad girl don't need to be in the school. I was so disappointed at the last teacher. The video I showed y'all where the teacher make the boy run, the youth running up, and the teacher had said to him, "Say, kill people before you know." So me not afraid. Remember that video? You know they suspended that teacher, and I thought that was a good time to actually, because listen, if you're gonna lend sympathy to anybody in this equation, it ain't to these big old grown, in their mind, they're grown adults. Them just not reach the age yet. I have to still wake up and go to school every day, but man, a big man. That's not who you lend the sympathy to. The sympathy needs to be lent to the educator, the teacher, who dedicated themselves to this and come every day, come do this. I tell people all the time, your children spend more time with their teacher than they do with you. So all these bad broke picnic, mommy and daddy at home, you barely deal with your own kids. Think about it. 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, you're up already, right? 5, 6 o'clock school day, you're up already. You're gonna make breakfast or do whatever, picnic, get dressed for go school. They're off, them gone. They're in front of that teacher all day. Your broke bad, dirty behavior picnic that you can't control, you just let go your little Lego beast on somebody, hold him for the day. And I charge you with the responsibility of keeping him safe, even though he might not want to keep you safe. I charge you with the responsibility of educating his mind and make sure Sam learns something, you know. Because if you can't teach them nothing, then what are you teaching for? You know, the teacher needs to be able to teach. And the other children who came to learn need to be able to be in an environment where that is facilitated. They can learn without having to worry about bad man in them class and yo him bad, see how him do it, teacher thump her in her face, and then the school system look like they're empowering them. You know where Jamaica went wrong? I know everything you say foreign do if you do. And some people will disagree with me because I've done videos before where I said we can't be beating on the kids. Them it's some old plantation mentality that was passed down. However, spare the rod, spoil the child. I'm still a part of that one. Some of them need some lick. So it's not going around beating because you're coming late to school today. Sir, my mother did have, I don't want to hear it. Hold out your hand. Not them the kind of beating them may attack. Read, and you're reading students fighting whop, and them lick your, that unnecessary beating is not what I'm talking about. Some of these students, they need a, pardon my language, but they need a ass whipping. And when they started taking corporal punishment out of the home and telling parents in Jamaica about you can't lick your picnic them no more, that's where everything went south. They took it out of school. They took it out of the homes. So the kids are empowered. Them not fear you. You can't tell me nothing. Where you gonna talk all day? You gonna talk till your blood pressure high and run up. You gonna talk till you catch a stroke. Where you talk about? Me don't want to hear you. Me deaf. Me can't hear you. That's the attitude, right? Not for us. I laugh all the time. I'm gonna tell wife because I see Kai them and my other kids like doing some stuff. I say, I'm telling them the same stuff every day. Imagine this, every day of the week, at least 5, 6, 7, 8 times in each day, I have to tell you the same thing. See, the people that raised me, they had a shortcut, my friend. And the shortcut was, I'm gonna tell you twice. I'll tell you one time. Yeah, okay. You're forgiven there, because you never know, right? The second time, I'm gonna say I told you before. That means you heard it before. Right. You see the third time, we used to call this a bitch lick. The third time, you're going to remember that third time for the rest of your life. And for the rest of your life, you will never do whatever it was that you were being told not to do and kept doing again and again. And it done. Enough time to get third time, So I know this. Enough time to get third time. I was a very energetic child. Me used to all over the place in things. But you see my people, them, all right, one more time. That's it. When you catch one of those, you be a grown ass man with your own family, still having like, yeah, me remember when, I don't do those things because I still remember the lick. Yeah. So when they took all that away, the students then become this. Okay, so since y'all want to clear the path for these students to end up in your prison system, because that's what I think it is. Yeah, by design. Since you want to clear the path for these unruly students to end up in your prison system, hear what? Let's make it safe for the teachers to teach. Let's make it also so that none of these other students will copy, emulate, or repeat what they have seen when this happens. Every student that puts their hands on a member of staff or faculty should be tried as an adult. Yeah, then we can send you to adult lockup with aggressive, criminal-minded adults, because you want to fight adults, right? Okay, so we'll put you where adults are likely to want to fight you too, right? So charge them as an adult and put their ass over there. And when you put them over there, and when the other students know that that is what the outcome is going to be, I bet you majority of them won't be raising their hands again to put their hands on another teacher again. I know people are going to say, but SouFLo, I youth them still, regardless, and you never know what might be going on in their household, It's y'all know I'm a rational person. I am not irrational, I am rational. Me think it through. Charge them as adult. I don't give a damn what going on at your house. There's nothing that should empower you to come to school and beat a teacher till the teacher unconscious. Nothing. Nothing excuses that. If home life is so bad, then other ways we can get to helping that. If it's going on in the house and they're hiding it, then most likely you won't know, right? Teachers can ask questions, teacher, but that's about all they can do, right? In the US, they put in place where they will just randomly send social services to your house. If you have children in the US, maybe we need to implement that in Jamaica as well. When social services come to your house in the US and you have children, you cannot not let them in. You don't have a choice. You cannot not let them in. You can't go, who's at the door? Let me see. Oh, social services. I'm not letting them in. You have to let them in because those reports usually come from somebody that's called a first reporter, like a first responder. Teachers are one of those. Teachers are charged with the responsibility, since they spend more hours per day with your children than you do, they're charged with the responsibility of observing each child, seeing if there are behavioral changes that might indicate that this child is living in unsafe conditions, etc., etc. All that come with it. So the teacher can easily say, hey, I saw Stephen Smith in class. I saw some welts around his neck area, and I realized that there was some on his arm as well. This kid looks like he's being beaten, and he's not his jovial self anymore. He is very distracted. He's disruptive to the class. He's now starting to fight others. Blah blah blah. Then go to socials. They go to a school counselor. They bring in social services, and before you know it, you're sitting at home and you hear, who that knocking the door? Social services. Social services, we're here to do a check. I told you, they go through everything. When them come, they want to say which part the picnic asleep. They want to see what the room look like. Is it pissy, clothes all over the floor, smell bad, or is it clean, sanitary, nice bathroom them can use, and all these other kind of things. They're going to go into your refrigerator. Does this child have food? What's causing him to act out? Does the child have food in the house? Is this child being starved at home? and being told to keep it quiet. Like, they are going to go into everything. So maybe we could implement that in Jamaica as well. The social services wellness check part where you cannot say no. Because believe it or not, some youths are living in messed up conditions and they have messed up parents, but nobody is checking. So the youth just dealing with it the best way they can. I don't think the teacher should have to bear the brunt of that. Teachers are should be on an elevated pedestal for me. In our society, them should be. So therefore, we have to advocate for them and we have to stand behind them and support them. I was livid mad when I saw that they suspended that male teacher. Yes, the man said him kill before and him will kill again, but look at who he was talking to. He felt like that's what he had to say to gain control of his classroom and earn the respect of the students that were pretty much bullying him. He also is a person that was burnt out and frustrated, obviously. You don't want these burnt out, frustrated people hating teaching and just coming to work just to get a paycheck, because then education suffers. They're not going to be interested in teaching anymore. But yeah, since I go to school and this is my degree and everything, my career field, let me just go on to work, yeah, man. Them come, them throw up the lesson for the day upon the dashboard. Don't ask me nothing. I don't have time to explain to you. Go and read it in the book. I've heard that in school before. Don't ask me nothing. I don't have time to explain it to you. I've told you a million times. Read the book. You might have missed it. Work on your reading comprehension skills. Go and read. It's in the book. And that's all the teacher said, and left them there. So God bless those teachers who are actually up there taking 100 questions. Jamie, do you understand it? No, you don't? Okay, class, we're going to go over this again because Jamie doesn't understand it. I know a lot of you already do, but we're only as strong as our weakest link, and they're facilitating this togetherness. And some of them might picking them for go school in that kind of environment. Not scared as hell in class because there's a guy in the classroom who comes here every day that can beat the teacher ass and get away with it. So start trying these students who choose to put their hands on teachers as adults. Implement a wellness check or welfare check system within the Child Protective Services system in Jamaica as well. That's the solution. Am I wrong? Yes, and there'll be the wellness check in some homes in Jamaica. Yes, there'll be the wellness check in some homes. Circumstances do play a role in their behavior issues, but there must be boundaries. Yes, Kataja Empress. And we can't sit up here as grown people and be like, kids just get up and just bad. So we all know how impressionable children are. We were children once. We were young kids once. We were teenagers once. We know things are going on in your home. The different dynamics can make you go act out a road. That's why we need these different lines of defenses set up, right, to help the teachers so they're not burdened with all that. A teacher's job is to teach, and under teacher come all other kind of something. Them a babysit because them have your madhead, sickhead picnic who you refuse to deal with or who you probably are causing to be that way, but you don't care. And them can't act out with you, so them go act out in school. But beating a teacher and then beating a teacher till teacher unconscious, that should never happen. So yeah, I'm glad he's being charged as an adult in this one. The one in Jamaica, I don't know what they're going to do about it. This one, he's charged as an adult. And him there adult jail already. He's locked up without bail and he's in adult jail already. I read into this young man's story and found out that his mom was a occupational therapist in Florida. I was like, damn, what's going on in his life? But he also had done this 3 more times before. So obviously the court system got tired of him. They put him in juvenile before, but he had a short stay in juvenile. And one of the times, the last time before this, I believe his mom left him there and said, no, even though he was ready to go home, she was like, nah, y'all got to keep him for longer. So I'm thinking he probably even was intimidating his mother, and there's no father in the house. And she's scared of him. She's like, y'all keep him in there. As soon as they let him out, beat a teacher unconscious. Yeah. 3 times prior. And time to go. Time to go. 6'7". I believe it's 6'6", because people are gonna call me. I did the complete run up on it yesterday and looked him up completely. Got his measurements and everything. He's either 6'6" or 6'7", but I wanted them there. And I know for a fact, 280, almost 300 pounds. So he's a big guy, and he just feel like him can just throw around his weight and beat up students and beat up teacher and come in class and put up foot on desk and play video game in the middle of class. And I don't know where they get that from, but his mom being an occupational therapist kind of throws me off, because most occupational therapists are like, they look at humans and human behavior from a different perspective. So I don't know. Maybe him have a behavioral issue, something wrong up here, so or something. Cinnamon, thank you for being here. Says my mom worked for the Child Protective Services, and I would go out with her sometimes to check homes. I saw some crazy stuff the parents would do to the kids. Yes. And that's why I'm saying sometimes the kids are acting like that, and it's the same parent that's causing them to act like that. Child Protective Services is needed. These surprise visits are needed. DMAX says without teachers, there would be no profession or doctor or doctorate. Or you're right. You're right. Think about that. How important a teacher is. Without a teacher, there would be no all these other professions, because they all required tutelage from a teacher. Michelle Howell says, as his mother, he could count himself motherless. The Buffalo Soldieress says she probably was doing her best with his autism. I saw it written above that he has autism. I haven't seen anywhere that he has autism. But if he does, then that's a whole different issue. But her being in occupational therapy and him being autistic, that would be the perfect. But then again, that's your mom. So I don't know. Maybe he wasn't taking to whatever she was doing. Her job as a occupational therapist is to develop a whole program around him to facilitate his independence and his better functioning in society as normal as possible. Like she went to school for that. I don't know. Anyhow, that's my solution for the children fighting in school, beating up teachers. Charge them as adults, and before we see the problem get that far, send protective services, child protective services to their house. Random checks. Oh, that's another thing. Those random checks, when they do them in the US, for those of you who never ran into this, you don't get to say what day they come. Remember, you can't tell them don't come, and you can't not let them in. And you don't get to say what day they should come or shouldn't come. They don't ask you, because they don't want you to say, okay, I scheduled for them to be here on Friday, so I'm gonna clean up the place and make and put some food in and make it look like. They'll show up late in the evening after dinner done. They'll show up early in the morning. They'll show up midday, Saturday afternoon. They show up whenever they want to show up, and they walk through whenever they feel like it. Very necessary. Some parents aren't being parents. Some parents are not being parents. So they need to be checks and balances even on these bad parents. A lot of this stuff starts from poor parenting, though. Yeah, whether you're too busy to be a good parent to your child or whatever, it starts from poor parenting. So some of the parents need help, but they won't come out and say it. So that's why that system is important. Pop up whenever. Catch them if you can. sometimes they'll put you on a schedule, not a schedule, but on, they'll say for the next 6 months, this is what we're going to do. And then, if things go well within the 6 months, then they'll close the case and sign you off. But in that 6 month period, you don't know when they're coming. You don't know when they're coming. You don't know if they're going to do a walkthrough today or not. So you're forced to actually be on edge. Even on days when you wouldn't normally clean, I'll clean tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday. It's my cleaning day. When you get put on one of those programs, you get up and clean every single day. Every day. Because you don't want them to come and be like, oh, clothes all over the floor. Did you go grocery shopping yet? They be in your kitchen, opening up your cupboards. Did you go grocery shopping yet? Why is your pantry empty? Yes, the buffalo sold the rest. You will be forced to be a decent parent. And it's sad that that's what it takes, but that's what it takes for some people. Most people who have children didn't have children because they planned it. I said this a long time ago and somebody got upset. I said a lot of children out here are oops babies. Oops. Think about this. A lot of children are oops babies. So the parent wasn't prepared. They're just trying to do their best, some of them, as they go along. It's learn as you grow. Parenting doesn't come with a manual. It's learn as you grow and learn as you go. And some of them not learning. Some of them, they're neglecting the responsibility. Provide a roof over your head. The basics. Are you sitting and talking with your child? Are you finding out if the child is being bullied at school? Are you trying to figure out why your child is gaining so much weight so fast? Are you trying to figure out why your child, who used to be jovial and happy and loud and easygoing, is now tense all the time and silent? And are you noticing your own child? Are you taking stock of what's going on with your child? Or are you just so busy? You're just so busy that you work 2 jobs that you don't get to see anything. Hi, I love you, bye. You'll be forced to be a good parent. Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next one now. I was saving the Klansman Wanda and gang stuff. No, let me save this one for last. Let's save let's have this discussion real quick. I think this discussion could get pretty fun. New studies show that more men are choosing to skip marriage, and those who are opting to get married are going overseas to find wives. It's also, on the flip side, very rarely do overseas men come to the US just to find a wife. What you think's going on here? Karen Notice says they showed up in my house because my son's grandmother, because she wanted him to check my fridge, his room, cupboards. Actually, they checked my entire house. Yes. The Buffalo sold the rest. There is one group called Passport Bros, but I'm talking about a study across, like, if you can leave Passport Bros out of it, this is what's happening. Like the new pandemic, they are going overseas. More men. New studies show that more men are choosing to skip marriage, and those who are marrying are going overseas. Increasing numbers are going overseas to find their wives. Why? I have a theory. They are looking for greener pastures, not necessarily love. But what does greener pastures means, Vicky? Cinnamon says they want a yes sir type of woman, and they want someone who just do what they say. Well, as a man, I would say that they are entitled to their choices because, let's take this call real quick. But I think they're entitled to their choices, but we're about to get deep with this one. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's going on? Talk now. You all right this morning?
Yeah. I just missed an important topic, but it's okay. In terms of men going overseas, I know that women will say, like I just heard you say, somebody say, they want a yes sir, no sir kind of woman.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the point. That's not the reason. It's you, okay. Women in America have gone from, I'm gonna stand by my husband no matter what. If
Mm-hmm.
he dead, might I never marry nobody else.
See it.
Two, I'm gonna stand by my husband only and leave him only if him cheat on me and beat me. Two, maybe I'll get married, I don't know. Two, I don't need a man. I'm an independent woman. Two, F men. Four men. Not a woman. And where we are now is the F men cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Men don't feel respected. They
Ah.
don't feel like you are material. People are forgetting how the cycle works.
Mm-hmm.
When you decide to take your own charge as a woman
Mm-hmm.
and form your life in a way where you're trying to become a man, you're trying to drive in the man's seat.
Mm-hmm.
When you find a man, I don't want you
Hmm.
because you're in the wrong seat. You're supposed to be on the passenger side.
But
When you try to make it the case where you're in the driver's seat your
mm,
whole life,
mm,
and you find a man who is in the driver's seat, you're not gonna say, hey, move over.
same.
And you're gonna feel offended.
I like that
And it's
analogy.
not to offend you, it's how life works.
Right.
No man is gonna take uh being submissive to the one who is supposed to be submissive. It's nature, and when you try to undo nature, you go wrong. That's why so many women are gonna be lonely in the next decade or so.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have a bunch of women at run bars like the men used to, like the run bar there at Jamaica at nighttime. Yeah, because they don't get it. They don't understand that what their grandmothers and mothers were talking about is the truth.
Same.
Your man deserves respect. Three things a man need to survive
Mm-hmm.
in a marriage or relationship. Dominance, he needs to be the man to be able to survive it,
Mm-hmm.
and he needs to be satisfied. If you take away the man's dominance in a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
make the man feel like say him beneath you, and him fi obey you, or you run things and whatever, I'm not gonna let you. Because every man wants to succeed at things. Every man in here right now, where talk say him won't go overseas because he wants a yes or no with a man. Go to your man right now
I
and tell
love.
him say, hey, get up, do this right now or else. Push him. Step
Mm-hmm.
on him can. So just step on him can. We could have weighed 100 pounds. Step on him can. He might go stand up one day and make you know who in the house have the authority.
All right,
Even
so
if him not work, he might go get it and push back.
all right.
You yeah.
I like how you put that. I like how you put that. Thank you. I'm
All
gonna
right.
build on that right now, but thank you. All
All
right.
right.
Me see family member, cause I see Kata Jai. What Kata Jai said? Somebody says, how old is he again? Listen, him been around long enough, right? For drop knowledge on us. He dropped knowledge on us yesterday, and it didn't have nothing to do with age. So no, in my talk, some facts. It still don't have nothing to do with age. Make we keep the same energy about the age, right? Him can be right, and oh my God, his age, and he's so smart for his age when he says stuff that you agree with. But when him not says stuff where you agree with, you talk about how old is he again? Yeah, I'm too young for know. No, him know. Him know. I saw a comment here where, let me see, one person said, a man doesn't like to, this is as simply put as you can put it. A man, a heterosexual man, does not like to feel like he is in a relationship where there are two men. Think about that. That's just basic without me calling out anybody or saying anything. That's just basic. My grandfather used to say two bull can't rain in a one pen. Oh, y'all were agreeing? Oh, because he was hitting that nail on the head. Okay. Big up to y'all for agreeing because he was on point. Two bull can't rain in a one pen is what my grandfather used to say. Of course, again, back then me did too young. Me just think say true we did have cow. Him never did want two of him bull cow them in a one pen because them are go fight over the females. I didn't know that it applied to life until later two bull can't rein in a one pen. And you know, now that I think about it, I never heard my grandmother and my grandfather ever argue. But I have heard him say, two bull can't rein in a one pen. Maybe that was his way of telling her, like, you're stepping your boundaries, over your boundaries, Miss Ruby. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, SouFLo.
Good morning, family. How you doing? I know Brummel, it was you. All right. Talk to us. We're live on the air.
About the topic that you just said, I
Mhm.
think that a lot of American women, they forget how to be women. And it's something that I've seen.
They forget how
And
to be women.
yeah, and then guys don't know how to approach them. Honestly, it's the first place I come and see where some men are so cautious to approach a woman, get a woman pregnant, or just interact with them at all.
Yeah.
And and they don't want to do certain things. You know what I mean? Like I grew up in a household where my mother still works and she'll come home and take care of the home. These girls don't want to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. They don't even know how to cook. They don't do nothing, but they expect the guy to buy them this, buy them that, basically treat them like them as a fragile egg.
Right.
Like China in a cabinet. And
Right.
then they have no use to the guy.
Right.
But if you know, like the lady said before, men need respect and understanding, and there is power in understanding your femininity and know how to move a certain way around a man. You get it, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
This whole have to tussle with them and go back and forth. No, that don't work. That don't work.
You know,
It don't
a
work.
sister put up a video, right? And she talks about like flexing in your femininity and your divine femininity and all that. I was paying attention to it because I'm trying to understand women, right? And there's a part she was talking to the women and she was like, you don't have to argue with him. Your husband comes home late all the time. You know where he works at, and he's telling you, I gotta do another late night and all this. And then one day he called and he said, babe, I got to do another late night and I don't think I'm going to make it home. So I'm going to stay at one of these local motels that's close to the house. And she said she didn't argue with him. She didn't say again. She didn't say nothing. Why you got to stay at a motel? Why? Because that will force him to have to say, well, after I'm finished working, I'm going to be tired. I don't want to drive tired. Next thing I crash the car, all this other stuff. You know what she did? And this, you might see this as manipulation, right? You might see it as manipulation, but this is a woman being powerful without even moving too much or saying too much. You know what she did? She said she went, got ready for bed. She bathed for the evening. She put on a nice negligee and she did like this, hold her phone up selfie and took a nice picture of herself. And she said, okay, babe, have a good night, right? I'm gonna go lay down and have a good night and send it to him like that, right? She said no matter how tired he was, he get in that car and he made it home. So it wasn't no, oh, I'm tired, so I had to stay at a hotel down the road. Some women don't understand that their men will find a hotel to stay at, not necessarily to stay with a woman. It could eventually lead there. But when you're in a home where you're trying to get away from your home instead of being happy to come home to your home, there's a problem there. There's a problem there. And she was showing women how, like, I'm not going to be that naggy wife. I'm not going to be that explain yourself to me again, argue because I don't like your explanation. I move like this because a woman is this powerful. And she goes, snap, and send it to him with a message. Okay, babe, have a good night. And I'll see you. He jumps in the car and he comes home. And she said I didn't even say nothing.
Yeah, I know. I know exactly what you mean. I'm not gonna give away all the secrets to SouFLo.
Yeah. But
I know what you mean. Like I was telling my coworker, she's Black American. Yeah, she's Black American, right?
Right.
So some topic came out about being a strong Black woman. I'm like, no, I'm not. Because they're like, oh, you can take your own tire, you can, live your own, buy this, buy that. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
So she was like, why you say that? You can do it by yourself. No, I don't want to take no tire by myself. Even if I could do it, SouFLo, I don't want to do it. I need to interfere in all of that. Why go stress myself?
Right.
You know how some man work hard?
Yeah.
So nobody after my body to see my point. No, me want look cute. Be serious, side.
Be soft.
Because yes, I
Yeah.
like doing that. I like
Yeah.
being soft. And
Oh,
if I can't be around a man and be that, then I don't want it. I don't want
that's
it. I
what's
don't
up.
want it.
That's what's up.
All right, so but
Um,
women need to be women again and understand the power in having that.
Facts.
And on top of that, you have a chance where you can build your own career by yourself as a woman. That's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to challenge the men. You're good. You let them be.
Facts. Big up yourself.
Okay, so good.
All right. She said, I don't want to be no strong nothing. I don't want to be tough and hard. I'm soft. I want to be soft. Right? I want to be soft. That was one of the comments that my brother made. He said, be his peace. And then in the comment section was filled with women who were saying, nobody needs to be your peace. You need to be your own peace. If you can't find peace within yourself, then you don't need to be. But I know that mean when him said be his peace. Hold on. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Hey Sofo, I watch your show all the time.
That's what's up. Thank you. I appreciate that. What's going on
Yeah,
with
it's the
you?
first time I'm calling in, but it's a really interesting topic. I've got a few things to say. You might not agree with it,
Yeah, we don't have to always agree. I'll still respect you.
but what I'd like to say is that women submit to men who are providers and protectors. Women are not gonna submit to men who are not providing for them, who are cheating, who are doing a lot of things that women just don't like, that won't make women feel secure
As a
and
man,
happy.
I can tell you that that's not too true. Um, Women don't submit to men necessarily because they're providers. For one, and for two, uh, a lot of the. So what about the brothers who end up with a sister who just thinks you're cheating all the time when you're not cheating at all, and then use that to guide the whole relationship? So he's a provider and he's coming home to hell every day because she thinks he's a cheater.
But women like that, that's just an issue with them. That just they're paranoid.
But there are a lot of women out there that
People
are
like
like
that are
that.
not secured in themselves.
But there are a lot of women out there that are like that, that are not secured in themselves. You- I hear
Mm.
what you're saying, right? But listen, that part about women submitting to men who are providers and that's not true. You got real alpha men out here who are getting just abused and disrespected and neglected. I've heard women, countless women, say he's too nice. One woman just did a video where she said, finally, the guy I thought I've been praying for all these years, he had everything, but I had to cut him loose. And she still doesn't know why she cut him loose. Of course, I was going through the comment section and people were like, you cut that man loose because he was about to expose you. It would have been cut raw and you would have had to come up off your BS and start facing your demons and being real with yourself. That part right there, that journey to maturity, now that could happen at 25, 35, 45, 55, whatever. But that journey to
Mm.
maturity, that peeling the layers back, that facing your demons and standing firm in some mature beliefs, not run when fights start, as in, verbal disagreements, the ability to be able to sit down and have a conversation and then find a solution when there's a problem instead of just arguing and yelling and it's saying what I want to say and then I don't want to hear what you have to say, kind of thing.
Yeah, but I think
A
with a
good
lot
man
of
is going
black
to take you
women,
up through there. A good man is going to take you up through there. And if you're not ready, and if you're not ready there, that's why I said before, most adult relationships end because the people who took on that relationship, they were not mature enough to sustain the relationship, either one or both of them. Because it takes a lot of maturity to keep a relationship together.
yeah, that's right. I agree with that.
Right. So it's not
But I
necessary.
think like I think like men should have, they should make it a responsibility to get to know the women who they're gonna settle down with. I
Yeah,
think they need to vet women before just settling down with this person. Sometimes you have to test a woman's maturity as well.
and they are. That is why they are. They are. And
But I don't think a
that's
lot
why
of men
they're
do that. That's why you have some men are now running to other countries, passport bros. I think you're referring to them.
no, I'm not referring to them. I'm referring to the epidemic that's happening. Passport Bros is just a reflection of that's one show showing what they're doing. But I'm referring to the epidemic because outside of Passport Bros, new study, let me read it for you again. New studies show that men are choosing to skip marriage. More men are choosing to skip marriage. And those who are opting to get married are going overseas to find wives. So the thing that you're saying you think they should do, I think that's exactly what they're doing, and they're realizing. See, men are pumping their brakes now, and they're realizing, yeah, nah, no, nah. Okay, can't find any here. Let me go over there where their system of dealing with things is different. It's a mindset.
Mhm.
It's a mindset, right? Most women in certain areas think a certain kind of way in general. It's a mindset. Same thing for men. Most men in certain areas think a certain kind of way in general,
Mm-mm.
right? So they're going away from what that general mindset is of that population and say, let me go check out these people over here. They have beautiful women. I wouldn't mind being with one of them. And their system is different. They see their mate different. For instance, there's a comedy skit going on IG right now, and I saved it. It was the girl basically, she jumps in bed, she takes all her clothes off under the sheet, and then the guy takes his clothes off standing at the foot of the bed. And she pulls out her camera from nowhere, her phone, and she starts videotaping his private area. And she's laughing and she's going, and she's pointing. And then
Mm.
all these different people starts appearing in the room, right? Who are also pointing and laughing. And I said, it's only sisters I see do that, and Western minded women like dick, 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 dick size, how big it is, how long you can use it on me for, is it strokes good, how many times he made me come. Like they're so focused on sex and sexual stuff that people in other let's say Eastern versus Western, their way of thinking is different when it comes to a relationship. She's not with a man,
Mm.
she's not looking for a mate, a partner for dick size and for how good he is in bed. She's looking for his character of a person. So sometimes, a lot of the times in their culture, if you look, you'll see them with people who you're probably like, how the hell he got with her? Or she don't care about the
Yeah.
craters on his face that look like bad hair growing or whatever. She don't care about all that. She cares about his personality. She don't care if his telia is like 3 inches erect. She cares about him as a person, and she wants to be with this person for as long as she can in life with this person. But
Yeah.
on this
Yeah,
side of the globe,
I agree to a certain extent.
on this side of the globe, you can have all the money you want to, right? You will end up just being a rich financier, but you get what we call bun on the side. And you will have a group of women that will
Yeah.
encourage a woman to do that too. Girl, he ain't satisfying you in that. Oh, you are you serious? 3 inches? I don't know how you do it because I couldn't do it. I'm staying and taking all the money, but Big Dick Johnny, I gotta go see him. So now you're in a relationship where you're getting cheated on, even though you are a provider, protector, but your dick ain't big enough to satisfy her sexually or whatever. This society's chain of thought when it comes to relationships between man and woman, monogamy,
It has
marriage, and
eroded
stuff,
significantly,
it's
hasn't it?
yes, it has eroded significantly, significantly. So yeah, people
But
are
I
looking
wouldn't
for
blame
life
that like
partners.
on I wouldn't blame it on people completely because I think like the Western society that we live in like is so liberated. It's like people's values, morals, it doesn't mean anything anymore. And I think that's why you've got a lot of women who when they're choosing a mate, they're worrying about the material things rather than personality, rather than like working together and achieving something.
Yeah, uh, yeah, yeah. You have a point. You have a point. It's it's like you have too many choices. I just did a video on another platform where I said social media got a lot of people out here thinking that they have limitless choices, right? And they're fumbling good people because every day you get up, you could look on this thing right here and you could scroll through like 10,000 baddies or 10,000 good looking man with chisel up body like you work out, and you know the next picture is him, he drive a nice car, and the next thing, and you know he could be in your DMs and all this other stuff. So people are like looking at who they're with, and they're like, I know I could get better, I know I could do better. Even when they're with the best thing they ever had, they like, I know I could do better. Little argument start, out the door. I don't even want to talk to you. We don't even have to talk this out. They go to a corner, they get on their phone, and they start fantasizing about the next prospect kind of thing. You know, and it's that type of an affair. And as far as my question for the morning goes, like, why is this happening? Why are men? Because men back in the day, when you found a good woman and you're like, man, she ain't been ran through or nothing, she don't have no long list of men attached to her name and all this, I'm wifing her. She's Men now are
She's
like,
valuable.
she's
Yeah,
valuable.
it's not like that
It's
anymore.
not like that anymore. And it's not like that anymore because it's harder now to find one of those types of women, because women are, you said it, that level of freedom that we have, new generation is experiencing that level of freedom from birth. So, and what happens is they wild out. But she's gonna waste away her 20s. She's not trying to be stable in her 20s. She's gonna waste away her 20s. By the time she get into her 30s, she's probably gonna waste away some of that too. And then she waits to like late 30s. Oh, my biological clock is ticking, and you know I don't want to be having baby in my 40s and whatnot. The common thought is time to settle down, find somebody to get married to, and whatever. But then people are like, you know, the men are like, well, damn, but your 20s was treacherous. I don't know if I want you like a wife type. You know, I'll run through too, like everybody else that ran through. Why should I be boo boo the fool who stick around for the one who everybody else ran through, kind of thing? So they're looking at stuff differently, and you can't blame the men for doing so. Not that, but not only that, but also the unrealistic mindset. Man must pay all the bills, and then he must help with the children, and then he must cook, clean, and do everything else. Like that man don't get no break. A good man, to a lot of today's dysfunctional women, a good man is a man that can take her abuse and allows her to do and be whatever the hell she wants to do and be. That's her good man. That's the idea of a
Yeah,
good
that's the
man.
problem.
Yeah. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. And I thank you for calling in. I thank you for watching all the time.
Oh yeah, I'm a strong supporter. Thank you very much.
I,
Thanks for taking my call.
I
Take care.
appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye bye. Yeah, said more than a mouthful. Again, not all, some. King Bigs. Yeah, we got to keep reiterating, not all, some. But honestly, the women who are not like that, they know we're not talking about them because it don't apply. It's like a guy walk in the room and him say, every bottom boy in there go over there. So, and but I'm not offended. I'm not, you're not talking about me. I'm not that. And so, you know, when you say stuff, sometimes people are offended low key because that's them you're talking about. Why you always got to say all? You probably one of them. If I got to keep on saying some instead of all for you, you know I'm talking about some, you know, but that's how cautious we have to be in today's world. Don't address whatever, but yeah, those men that are going, that are pumping their brakes on marriage, and I also think that there's nothing in marriage really for men. Like if that marriage crash, I said this before, right? A woman can set a date and tell you, listen, we've been together for this long now. You have until December to marry me. This poor man is fretting now because he's like, oh shit, we're in March. June, July, August, September. I gotta go plan a wedding. She gonna leave. You know, I don't give you how many years already. You have until December to marry me, or else I'm moving on to the next one. You better put a ring on it. So she pressures you, right? And you go and you marry. She wait a couple of years, go by. She's the same one that's gonna file a divorce. It's not me saying this, it's the numbers. The studies show that majority of divorce are filed by the woman. Right. So you'll pressure a man into a marriage and then later on, this ain't really what I want. That's why I say I don't want nobody trying me on for size. Let me see if this is my size, if this really fits. It look kind of good. Nah, I don't like this. I need something different. You know, they'll try you on for size, right? Pressure you into a marriage, you go get married, and then next thing she's filing a divorce. Here comes the divorce. Here's what happens. You will live to see another man living in the house that you purchased. Because remember, you were the provider, right? And she didn't want a man that didn't pay all the bills and all that. So here's your house. Here comes the next man in it. You will watch the next man, stepdaddy, her new man, be around your children. You will watch who's going to pay for that divorce. More than likely, it's probably going to be you. And in these divorce settlements, they end up even giving you the bill to pay her lawyer fee to come divorce you, kind of thing. I've been through this before. So I'm speaking from a place of experience, right? When it ends, you will lose your children, you will lose your woman, you will lose your residence, you will now have to pay child support, you will now have to pay alimony, depending on how long y'all been married and all that spousal support. You will now have to pay a whole bunch of other things. You will have to foot that divorce fee. It's treacherous. So guys are now looking at all this and be like, what is in it for me? Because if it all comes crashing down, that's a bad deal right there for me. Live on the air with SouFLo.
Yeah, I forgot one thing.
Mm.
It all comes from the same place. All of this thought that women have now, this dominance thought, comes back from the 1970s and 80s, the
Mm.
female sexual revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Think about this. The leaders at that time with that movement were mostly white women,
Mm-hmm.
promoting female independence, promoting these kind of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
What was happening around that time? Around that time, this government was passing laws that were arresting black men for crack cocaine and were arresting white men for lower rates. Around
Right.
that time, a bunch of black men were going to prison initially and were being sent into jails in mass numbers.
Mm-hmm.
By the 1990s, father rate went down to the level it's at now, where we have like 70% um, households without men.
Right.
In African American households without
I
men.
saw that statistic
So
2 days ago. It's a 74% household without a man in it. And when the
right,
studies first started, majority of the households had a man in it.
so all those black men who went to prison, so most of them never came back. Some of them did, but some of them didn't come back. The ones who grew up in the meantime to become the men of today,
Mm-hmm.
they look around the world and they see all of this chaos. It's because the women who grew up during that time and women who were alive during that time, most of the men get taken away. They had to adhere to a new doctrine telling them your man is no longer here, be independent. Your man is no
Mm.
longer here, stand on your own 2 feet, drive your
Mm.
own car, build your own house, build your own car because there's no man. But women were not thinking, and I don't know if I should fault them too hard, but they weren't thinking because their man were being taken away that in the future, I'm gonna have a daughter, I'm gonna have a son. What kind of example would they have of the man that is no longer here? Is it their prerogative to then do things by themselves and try to mold them in a man's image, which they can't do, or get an ex-man, or maybe even step out of the race? What should they do? And I think that that era created this issue today where there's a bunch of women in driver's seat. Not because some of them, a lot of them want to because the culture that started then, but some of them had to because they didn't have any other choice. So it all come from the same place. All of this feminism, LGBTQ, all of this stuff come from the same 1970s that push this agenda.
I agree with you. And you know what, too? I'll add to what you just said. I don't think that was
Mm,
our problem. I think we took on
right,
somebody else's model of what they were trying to do for them,
right.
right? And we got caught up in the sweep, if you know what I mean. Black and
Yeah.
brown, white over there. They had a agenda for them, and they used us for numbers, but we ended up accepting what that was and using it to destroy our family
Even
structure.
Dr. Johnson, Umar Johnson was saying the other day that even the Civil Rights Act was weakened
Hmm.
because they had to throw in other stuff in there.
Right,
They couldn't extend it for us. We couldn't get reparations or anything like that in it because they had to dumb it down to include women and everybody else.
right,
The whole 9 yards in it.
right.
And so it's like to this day we're still dragging along other people who not really helping us. They're not looking out for us.
Right.
They don't really care about us.
We're numbers in their march. Right. Absolutely, my friend. You're on it. Absolutely. Thank you. He's obviously well read. Okay, because I just saw that one. When this whole power struggle thing started and women independence movement and all that stuff, and it actually there was a survey done back then that said 70 or 80 something percent of our households had a man in it. By the time that was over, fast forward to today, 74% of our households don't have a man in it. So, but check it. Theirs do. They who started that movement, theirs still have their men in it. Ours went to 74%, according to studies, that don't have a man in it. Anyhow, I think men are just choosing not to get married for a long list of reasons, man. And one of them is that there's nothing in it for him to get married. Like there's a big loss that you're gonna have to take. And I know everybody is gonna say, well, you get into a relationship, you never know if it's gonna not last or if it's gonna last. It's a risk that you take. But that's the thing. Nobody wants to get into a long-term commitment feeling like I'm gambling. I'm taking a risk. I don't gamble. I hate gambling. If I lose $1, I cry. If I lose a penny right now, I get on the floor and look for it. I don't want to gamble. You know what I mean? But it's that feeling of I'm gambling. And I think at the end of all that is the out is too easy. Remember one time gone, you spoke of a divorce. People would frown, literally. You were looked at as a failure, literally. When they normalized divorce and started making it look like something that's, you don't like it, go get a divorce. You don't like it, go get a divorce. Shani's getting divorced. Steve is getting divorced. Devin's getting divorced. Keisha just got divorced. Go get a divorce. It started making men look like, and remember, in most cases, it's the man that, see, a woman will control who she sleeps with, who gets access to her body, and who she gives some loving to and whatever else, right? But when it comes time to build that foundation, usually it depends on the man and who he chooses, right? So the man is the one that has to say, will you marry me? But if he ain't saying, will you marry me to you, it won't happen, right? And now, of course, you have women who are saying, will you marry me to men, and getting down on one knee. And you see how traditional minded women are taking that. They'll leave comments like, you crazy as hell. There must be a severe man shortage where she's from and all that other stuff. So it's not like it's okay. And it's looked at as, okay, so what? It's not normal. It's not normal. So the man is the one that has to say, will you marry me? And men are choosing more and more to say, I think I'm gonna hold off on that one. Because I could see the end. I could see the BS coming from a mile away, kind of thing. Ricky Reed.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. Okay, one of the things I think is a lot of women today want to be strong and independent. You can't be a wife. We train our daughters to be strong and independent. They grow up, they don't want a man. I want to be a boss B.
Boss bitch.
Yep. So they don't need a man. You know, the laws in this country are what you call it, like favor women. You know, so you divorce, you lose all your resources. Somebody raising your children, somebody living in your house, and you're struggling. That is why,
and we've seen that happen to many men.
They don't want to get married no more.
That whole situation can literally reduce you from being in a place in life where you're financially secured to being in a place in life where you're broken and living below the poverty line. Right. And living in squalors even, because you're gonna have to go find somewhere where you can afford.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, when the court finished with him, out of his paycheck, He got $20 a week,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he's a plumber.
And they don't
making
care.
over 80,000.
They don't care. I've heard judges tell the men, well, go live with your mom. Is your mom still alive, sir? Well, go live with your mom. Maybe you need to move back in with mom and dad until you figure out how to get yourself back on your feet. But you're gonna have to do this, that, and it's relentless against you. You know, there's no sense in it.
Yeah.
In how it's done.
So it's a lose-lose for men.
I absolutely agree.
You know, most divorces are initiated by a woman.
I said that earlier, and that's factual. That's not us saying that. That's
not,
that's the numbers that are out there.
Yeah.
Right.
A woman could decide today, I don't want you no more.
Yeah.
Go file divorce while you're out working, and the court is going to seize all your assets, freeze it, so you have nothing.
Until they work out how much she gets versus how much you will be left with, and yeah.
A female divorce lawyer told me that. She said, when they're done with you, you would give them anything they want just to have enough money to buy a Happy Meal.
There's a female lawyer on IG that I tune into every now and then because she's educating women, but I want to know women's rights and what's entitled to them under law, right? So one day I'm watching her and she said this. She said, everything you have before you established before you married your spouse on paper, everything you have is out of the marriage, as in it won't be considered marital assets. But once you get married, right? Regardless if you have a prenup or not, every asset gained, attained while married is considered as a marital asset. Therefore, it is up for grabs. It is up for determination. It is up for, so you won't have a prenup that says you came with nothing, you leave with nothing, sign here, done. They're not going to honor it. She's going to leave with something, even if she contributed nothing to nothing, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I saw the guys in the comment section and they were saying stuff like, listen, that's the main reason right there. And I'm giving you an advice. Just don't own anything in partnership with, and don't put her name on anything. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what kind of a marriage is that then? You know, because I would be paranoid in it. Like, are we preparing to divorce and separate? Imagine having a marriage where your whole marriage is preparation to divorce and separate.
Yeah.
When people marry, people want to be free with who they're with. Like, yeah, me and you on everything, me and you together with everything. You my partner for life type of stuff. Not wake up one day, I'm worried that tomorrow you might just switch and be like, it's not you, SouFLo, it's me, and I can't figure out what it is. I'm just not happy anymore. And next thing I know, you're doing some interview about where I had to start catering to my own happiness. And I bug a woman going, and you're gone with like half of everything that we had.
You know, one thing women don't realize, a man who is a provider is hardly home. He's out there hustling. And then they complain, he don't spend no time with me. Right. Right. You want a broke man stay home, or you want a man who's on his grind? Right. And if you want a successful man, you're going to have to deal with the busy man. Yeah. Yes. The more successful you are, the less time you have to give. Absolutely. Absolutely. Agree 100%. All right, my brother. Okay, brother. Have a good day. I appreciate you. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the dynamics. That's the dynamics. But back to why are they going overseas to find wives? I seen a couple of these women from overseas are making these videos. You know, the typical talk is that they're going to get girls or women who are from poverty, who's dying for a green card to come to the US and all this other stuff. And I've seen these women start making videos. One girl said they're going over there because they want a woman who could barely speak English. That way he can tell her whatever to do. And I think this one was from the Philippines or something. And she said, first of all, we're highly educated here. So this notion that they're looking for women that are lesser educated, she's like, we're highly educated here. And tell you the truth, working in the field of occupational therapy, I ran into a whole lot of Filipinos that are
in this field, but they're working in the US. So it's like a travel agency that gets them from the Philippines and they work here in the US. So the girl was like, and English, by the way, is the first language that's taught in school here as well. So this idea that they're coming for somebody who is desperate for a green card, can barely speak English, is so impoverished. And she went on to explain our family structures are different. She went on to explain the dynamics of how a woman treats her husband is just different from how you guys treat yours, right? You were raised to be a certain way. We were raised to be a certain way, and they're just attracted to the way how we were raised and how we cater. It's an honor for us to cater to our husband. It's an honor for us to cook him a healthy meal every day. It's an honor for us to keep our house clean. It's an honor for us to, and that's how she was talking. Man, American females were shelling her down like a combat scene. Like a combat scene. They were dropping bombs over there because the woman said it's an honor for her to keep her house clean. It's an honor for her to cook her husband a healthy meal every day. It's an honor for her to, spend time with the children and do this and keep their family unit a certain way. And they shelled the daylights out of her. And I thought, damn. My best friend went there, found wife, and they are still married 15 years later. Okay, I did an extensive time in the military. The people who, I don't know if I should really say this, but yeah, the brothers who I went into the military with and who are some are still in, the ones who married, and sisters this ain't against you, I'm just saying what is reality for me. The ones who did marry those who were from those parts, they're still married to this day. And the ones who didn't, they are divorced or they're going through hell and heading for a divorce. So it is a mindset. It is a mindset that certain cultures that women don't want nothing but peace. And you're a man and you're supposed to provide, right? Okay. Even by American standards, that's a typical thing that women say, right? I don't want no man that can't provide. What kind of man is that? Right? So he's going to provide for his wife. She's just not from here. And once her basics are met and she's being provided for, the rest is peace and quiet. She'll probably go plant up a bunch of trees around your house and prune plants and whistle to herself or whatever. I don't know, but the culture is different. They're referred to as expat workers. It's a lot of them that are in this field. And yes, they have master's degrees and they normally run the place. Um, so PTA, some are assistants with bachelors and associates, but the ones who are like the lead therapists, they usually that requires a master's degree, and they have their master's degrees. Right. I have two Canadian cousins in the Philippines visiting women. Pussy Galore said I have two. I don't want us to start flooding the Philippines. I think brothers are going to other places too. They're going to Africa. Never before has so many from black people from this part of the world start visiting Africa or visit Africa. It's been an explosion in recent times. But they're marrying African women that are traditionally African women. Africa pile up, I used to say things about them too, but then I realized like who bleach them skin more than like African women, a lot of them bleach heavily. And a lot of them are materialistic as well. They have that material mindset where they want European brands. But if you find Russia is another one. But if you find the traditional African girl and she is into a holistic way of life and stuff, you might have lucked out. Speaking of that, our top athletes, to include Usain Bolt, Asafa Powell, and others, were invited to Africa. And they are currently, right now, in Ghana. And I'm reading the article this morning, right before I did this, and realized that Asafa Powell's wife she's African. She's from Ghana. I didn't know that. He was like, yeah, I married the most beautiful woman in the world. And she's a Ghanaian. So people are going overseas for a different mindset. And I think that's what it is. The part that did hurt some American women's feelings was the part where they said not many men are coming to the US looking for a wife because they don't want an American minded wife. I mean, it's that's not their idea of a wife. In other parts of the world, that is not their idea of a wife. Like, say for instance, a man from the Philippines. He's used to a traditional Filipino woman being, and I hate to use the word submissive because people always take the word submissive and take it to something else. When you hear submissive, you think slavery, right? So I hate to use the word submissive, but imagine coming from a culture where you're used to your women being this type, and then you come here where it's boss bitch attitude, and it's get it yourself. And why you always asking me to go get it kind of thing? They don't want that. So men from other parts of the world, they aren't rushing here to find wives, but the men here are rushing out there to to find wives. I find that paradoxically strange. Yeah, yes, SouFLo. I see them in the movie bleach out like kitchen towel. Yeah, Michelle Howell, they bleach heavy. And that was one big turnoff for me for as far as a woman goes. Like, what the hell are you bleaching your skin for? But it's your skin. Can't tell you what to do with it. But I just don't like the fact that it was Africa and then bleaching. I was expecting to see proud Africans. I was expecting to see them setting an example in a way where I'm like, yo, I gotta be there. I'm out. And then I've seen that they have now Africa is a continent, mind you. We're not speaking from a place of ignorance, and I understand that there are lots of countries in that continent, and I understand that not everybody does the Western minded thing or the bleaching skin thing and the lusting after material stuff thing and all that. Let's clear that up. However, the ones that I've been seeing from the more popular places, right? Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, those places, they are, and the ones that are less tribal or traditionally tribal, like African tribes, uh, they bleach heavily. I've seen a lot of Hausa women bleaching heavily too. I don't know. I guess it's a thing. I guess it's a thing, but I can't help to think, but it's the same mindset. I saw a dude from the US who went over there, grew his hair long, white guy, put on sackcloth clothing, white gown, and walked. And he made a stir in Africa. And he started getting paid a whole lot of money to do appearances because black people started following him around everywhere and calling him Jesus and saying he had returned in modern day time here. So yeah, the mentality is there even stronger. And that was what disappointed me, bleaching and the terrible wigs. OMG. You can't tell them nothing about the wig neither. You can't. Kataja Empress says expatriates may be assigned to work in a foreign country by their company, or they may be sent to work in a foreign country by their government. Yeah. And we have a lot of them in the medical field. A lot of them. And they're very good at what they do. I, yeah, they're very good at what they do. I've never met one that was, honestly, when you work with, I've seen like us on Americans. When I say us, I'm not talking about color, just us versus them, expatriate workers coming in to work. They're more strict and by the books and do it how the company wants it done. And yeah, they function almost like a robot, right? Us, we flex our freedom. We flex our, well, I don't like this. I'm going somewhere else. Put it in my 2 weeks notice. I'm heading over to this other facility, try to get a job over there, a contract over there. Falsifying documents, frivolously doing, yeah, just move your hand like this in the exercise gym, PTOT. Yeah, just move your hand like this. Okay, all right, write that down. We did 20 minutes of upper extremity exercises to strengthen bilateral upper extremity force. Gone. On to the next one. They're not like that. If they're gonna do 20 minutes of therapy or 30 minutes, it's gonna be 30 minutes of straight therapy all the way through to the end. They're different. They're different. And it shows not just in relationships, their relationship dynamics, man to woman. It shows in their job, like the way how they perform their duties and all that other stuff. This has been my keen observation. The Buffaloso, the rest says Walter Rodney from Guyana found much of the start, as he expresses in his book, grounding with my brothers. Strong black women were forced into those roles when their husband was hung from all the trees. I think that's where our disdain and disrespect towards, because honestly, and I've spoken about this before, this is going to go deep. Hear this. When I see the rise of black women disrespect towards black men, it puts me in a time where I have to look at the 400 years thing, even though it's not an excuse. But could you imagine, this man was emasculated in front of his woman. And they did this systematically. Physically, they used to do it, right? You were assaulted in front of her just to show her that you are powerless, just to show her that you can't protect her or the children that you have with her. Remember, let's go back. Your wives were also sleeping with master. He could come and take some when he felt like it. He would take your children and sell them to the next plantation down the road and all that other stuff. That means you are seen in a position as powerless. I can take your wife, I can breed her, have sex with her, have a baby even with her, and then I can take your children and I can sell them. The ones you have with her, I'm selling those to another plantation. The ones I'm gonna give her, I'll put them in the house, right? And right there is where it started. And I think that trickled down all this time to where we're at today, to where she looks at you a lot of the times like, you're powerless. You don't deserve my respect. You can't protect me, kind of thing. And I think sometimes that's why we also overdo it. That's why you have a lot of sisters who, he's too good. I don't want him. I want a bad guy. It's the excitement. He got to be toting guns and going to prison every now and then because I know he'll kill for me. Because she wants to feel like she is protected and by her man. She wants to feel like she's protected. So we go overboard, right? And end up with the worst of the worst. Gunman, badman, drug dealer type, street runner, shoot it out with the police and other bad guys. My man's a bad man. Because the little 9 to 5 youth to wear the glasses, them, you can't protect me. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
You know I had to call in on this one.
Yeah. Go ahead and say what you got to say. I'm listening.
First, let me start with the love language for men. Love language for men is respect.
Facts.
That's how a woman will show love.
Facts.
So I'm going to get that out the way.
Facts.
The hardest thing for a woman, now remember, I'm a W-5 in the military.
Right.
So it's hard for me to go out and do what I have to do in front of men because, you know, most of the military is men. And I'm a black woman standing in front of them. And I have to be strong. Right. Or they'll walk all over you.
Right.
Then I have to come home and learn how to make sure that I can cater to my husband at the same time. Sometimes those lines are hard to define. And so I would say this, when you're getting with a woman, you have to be on that intellectual level with her. I have a bias against, because in the military, we see it all the time. Men go to Philippines, Thailand, here and there to get these women. And you're like, well, military women ain't all that great, and I get it, because we have our problems.
Yeah.
However, it's just like, don't knock the women that are successful. Don't do that. You can't do that. You have to, but with women that are successful, you can't come home with the masculine energy. You have to come home and be like, baby, you still the man. No matter if I'm making more money than you or not, you still the man. And we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And that's where our problems lie. And I used to say that because my mom's Liberian. So I grew up in an African home. And I would see her come from work, and she would be cooking and cleaning. And you know, with that American mindset, it's like, Mom, why you doing all that? And you just came from work. But as you grow older, you realize that's what it's not, oh, the woman's supposed to be in the kitchen or the woman's supposed to do this. It's more like, make sure that you take care of your king, because your king in return understands that you are respecting him, and that's that love language, and he's going to give you that love back.
Amen.
And that's what we're falling prey to. Is like, I'm an independent woman. I don't need no man. What's wrong with people like that? I don't get it. And then let me talk one more thing on divorce, because I had to learn it. It took me a second time around to learn it, because I didn't know how to define those lines.
Right.
But in my first divorce, I got married young.
Mm-hmm.
So I was still in that mindset where I'm not going to do this or I'm not going to do that, because I was young-minded.
Right.
So, you know, I stayed with my first husband for 15 years. But like the military say, when you stay with them that long, what happens? So now I wouldn't think that a man would say, I'm taking half of your retirement. But this guy does. So the guy that called in and talked about, yeah, you're getting, you know, women always do this to men. No, men are starting to do that to women now.
Yeah.
Men are starting to do that to women now. So now it's just greed, because when he wanted the divorce. So what I said to him is, I said, okay, well, let's do it easy. You go with whatever you have, and I go with whatever I have. I'm not going to ask for child support. We're just going to go our separate ways, and we'll start over, because we did get married young. But this guy came back and was like, I want half of your retirement. I want your TSP. And I'm just like, what are you, a female?
And you know,
I never asked you for anything.
Wow. Yeah. Because and guess what? You are highly successful. So in the only way men are able to do that is if we, like, you are not a dime a dozen. You know that you're not a dime a dozen. Okay, so the average man going through a divorce, he doesn't have a woman where he has to dig into her finances. It's more the power dynamic shift. It's on the other foot. So naturally, the judge is going to say, okay, she's going to be the woman's been awarded the children. As long as she wasn't a terrible mom, these children, and then it centers around the children and where their house is going to be and all this other stuff. But you, on the other hand, your finances are different, and your rank and file, your rank and place in life is different. So for him to come back and say he wants some of this and he's taking that as well, I've seen that happen too. I've seen it. So men do it, but not at the rate that women do that to men. Like walk away with
absolutely
right. But yeah, you can relate though, because if you're where you're at and it's happened to you, you've lived through it. 15 years, you see, that's a long time. That's a big chunk of life right there, man. And there's no way you can walk away from that and feel like I lost a lot. You didn't feel like you lost a lot?
No, I know I lost a lot. I lost a lot in there.
And people just ain't trying to take those losses.
I tried to stay friends, but you can't do that. It's impossible with people like that.
Yeah.
And it was just tough. I think it took more toll on my son than it did on anybody else. Because even though he tried to stay in communication with, I never block communication. I'll never do that. But my son would try to call, and he would not talk and then blame me for not talking to my son. I would send my son over, and he would send my son back. So it's just so much in that divorce that he's I don't want to speak ill of him because it's not right. But he should have been, and that was another thing. I know I'm gonna jump topics, and I'm sorry.
That's all right.
But when you're raising a son, it has to be a man there. Whether you're divorced or together, you have to be that father, because a woman cannot raise a son. And that's another thing with those independent women that think that they can raise a man. You cannot. You cannot. You can help, but you cannot show them how to be a man. So stop saying independent women. Stop saying all that nonsense. You can't tell a man how to be a man. And then the man, you cannot blame the woman if you're not in that child's life. If your son turns out to be a little soft, that's your fault because you wasn't there.
Yeah. If
See, I knew
she's
you
not
gonna get me started. See?
vindictive, if she is not being vindictive, because I know a lot of cases where the women are being extremely vindictive. Like for instance, soon as she got awarded the child, now the state, say for instance, the state of Florida. Let me give you all an example. If your wife decides today to pick up your children and leave and go live in close to Canada, New York, right? You know the distance from Florida to that location, it's a forever travel distance. So purposely, she'll just pick the kids up and leave and go there. There's nothing you can do about it. And you're still gonna have to pay your child support on time, and you're still gonna have to do all the other stuff. Now the relationship's gonna look between your children and you like, damn, daddy is never around. He's never around because he can't get to you where your mama took you to, but I'm the one that's going to end up looking vindictive. She doesn't have to say, I don't want you to see them all the time. She can damage the relationship by simply moving far away. And there's nothing that you can say to the state. The state will say, is it their biological? It happened to me. The state said, is it your biological? Is that their biological mother? And I said, yes. And they said, well, she has all rights to the children. She can move to wherever she wanted with them. And I asked them and I said, well, what about me? I'm their biological dad. If I can I go anywhere I want to with them? And they said, yes, you can too. And I highly doubt that, because as soon as I left, if I was to leave with them kids, you know what else would have happened?
That's true.
Two children were kidnapped.
That's
they were
true.
last seen heading so and so in a blue car, heading the Amber Alert or whatever. It doesn't work the same, but she gets that much right.
Yeah. That is true. But the judge made me pay his travel. So he was coming from Korea. I would have to pay his travel to see my son. But the thing about it is, when we was in court, I said, hey, we can have joint custody. He said, no, you can have sole custody because I want your retirement. So it was just all about money, and I'm just confused. Like, I'm trying to do everything I can to make sure everything is good, and you are saying, no, I don't want this. So I had sole custody of him. But at the same time, I was like, okay, fine, I'll pay for him to fly in and fly out and do everything. I'm okay with that as long as you could see your son. You could spend time with him.
He sounded like he was being vindictive, though.
Yeah, it was. I think it was that. Yeah, I think it was that. But we got married young, so it's that mindset. Yeah. And I don't blame him now. And I try to still not force the relationship between my son and him, but try to make sure that they talk. And my son don't want to talk to him now, so that's another problem.
All right, quick question before you go though. Why doesn't your son want to talk to him now?
He don't want to talk to him now because when he was little, he didn't want to spend the time. His dad didn't want to take the time to spend with him. Okay. So he's angry still.
And you did everything to facilitate to make sure that would happen, and he still did not take the opportunity to do it, right?
Yep. He had iPads, iPhones. I paid for travel. I did everything I could.
Yeah. That's it. You're different. That's different. And yeah. Damn. All right. And those babies don't stay small and not knowing all that's going on for too long. Before you know it, they're grown, they're adults, and they don't want to have anything to do with you. So that's another message for like brothers out there. Like, break your neck to be in your child's life. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, don't let it be about some frivolous excuse why you were not there. Those are years that you can't rewind, you can't get it back, you can't redo it. It's done. I thank you for sharing. I appreciate you greatly.
Thank you.
All righty.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. See, that's a very successful woman who her position is, she's one of the people who you have to show like major respect when you're in uniform. You know what I mean? Her rank is up there and years of service, and you see her mindset towards marriage, but she also said she learned it the hard way. You know, so I mean, if you want to take it with a grain of salt. If not, leave it. but others who've done it can tell you. Somebody said, I think it was Kaitaja Empress that just said, one advice I got from my dad was to let the man be the man. Yeah. And like I said, I've never heard my grandparents argue. You know, you will hear couples argue, exchange words. Sometimes it'll go to anger. I've never heard my grandparents argue. My grandfather's food was set the same way every single day for as long as my grandmother was able to do it, even when she was working outside the home. So, and his food was set the same way every day. I can even tell you right now, they both just passed away, right? I can even tell you right now exactly what his food looked like. He would have a dish, a glass bowl kind of dish, and it would have his dumplings and his yam and his boiled banana in it. And then over here, you would have his meat kind. And she did that every day for his entire life, as long as she was able to. Nothing changed. And I remember, like, if they were talking about something where there could have been a disagreement, he would throw in that two bull carrying in a one pen. And now I understood what that was. That was that you turning into a man on me, you stepping over your boundaries. I feel like I'm in here with another man, kind of thing. If your man is telling you, I feel like I'm in here with another man, you might want to like go back to your feminine thing, right? Feminine to men it's beautiful anyways. To any heterosexual man, the softness of a woman and a soft woman is what is beautiful. I don't know not one that wants an aggressive, tough woman. Somebody who you're gonna butt head with and then feel like you in a jail cell with a new cellie. There's two ninjas in here. This is a man trying to wrestle his manhood away from you and trying to fight to prove that he is a man. No man wants that from his woman. None. I don't want to be in your role. You're a woman and you're beautiful. Stay that way. Let me be me as a man. So I think that's why these men are heading overseas to find wives, because they're finding women who are allowing them to be the man. It's that simple, right? All right. With that one said, though, I don't think any feelings was hurt this morning, but I do think somebody somewhere might have learned something here that might just save their marriage. While we're on the marriage thing, though, let's hear this. SouFLo, marriage and relationships are partnerships. Definitely. Marriage and relationships are partnerships. Oh, and to the sister who said earlier, women submit to men who are providers, and that's a no. Women want you to provide, period. That's the way how it works today. Just provide. I don't even have to give you nothing. Just provide. You can't provide, I don't want you. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Yes, SouFLo. Good morning.
Morning, fam. How you doing?
I would like to kind of explain.
Hold on. Do you have us on speaker or Bluetooth?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you're not coming through clear to us if you're on any of those. So we want to hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah. So I would like to be defined maybe in another session what is really supposed to be the role of what's a man and what's a woman. Because I'm not sure what people might think is you're stopping him from feeling like a man, or what a woman she should be soft. You know, I think that discussion could be had. What do you think?
So we would like you. Okay, so we would clearly define a discussion where we would clearly define what a man is. I thought that was innate. I thought that was something that we understood without saying, but I get it. I get it.
Well, I think in modern day, when you talk about a woman making more than a man, and those issues that come in to affect how men and women relate, then that's not innate anymore, because our society changes. As we said, that's why American women seem to be less desirable, because the traditions and ways have changed and are different in other countries. So I think there should be a discussion.
Very true.
about,
You know what? I'm writing that down. I think we're gonna need like a whole different
I
video
think
for
so.
that. So
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
we're going
And I
to.
want to say, I'm sorry. I just want to say that I am a woman who was single parent, raised a son and a daughter. And I know some of the dynamics about, not the father not around all the time. I just think that it's more complicated sometimes than some of the discussions I've heard. So I think it's important to kind of settle those things.
All right, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. And
Okay.
yes, I'm right.
And I
Wrote it
do
down.
appreciate, I listen to the show, and I do appreciate the points, and I think a lot of points are well made, but sometimes I feel there's a lot of divisive statements. So that's why I'm requesting that discussion.
Okay.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, that would be a good discussion to have. Definitely, definitely. Because not gonna go into the discussion, but I was going to dismiss it, and then I thought to myself, nah, because the new generation, or not just the new generation, but the culture has shifted. It's changed. So the definition of what a man is, just the fact that she mentioned something about, oh, if a woman earns more than a man, I was like, yeah, we need to have that discussion for sure. All right, let's move right along to another topic because we still have 2 topics left. Let's move right along to another topic. We kind of extended this morning, but it's okay. It's Friday. A cheating married man implores men to be faithful. To be faithful. Here is why a cheating married man is telling other men to be faithful. Lulu Ridges says, yes, that would be fabulous. Erica Senior says it's very good topic suggestion, caller. And Les Steph says, not innate in this generation. Absolutely. And that's why I think we need to have that. Take it easy, Seymour. Take it easy, Seymour. Have a great weekend, says Pussy Galore. I guess Seymour is leaving. Buffalo the Soldieress says, know the role. Well, this discussion, we hope this will define the roles so that someone who doesn't know will know the roles, right? Right. Erica Senior says God speaks twice. Good topic. All right. Moving right along now, right? Following a broken marriage. Listen to this, Following a broken marriage, 2 jacket children, and a deceitful side chick. His name is not used here, but this St. Catherine businessman said that he is imploring other married men to be faithful to your wives and your spouses, as cheating oftentimes end in heartache. Women are always deceivers, no matter how you put it. And me says so. I read the something. This is what he said. He said, women are always deceivers, no matter how you put it. Time's hard, so most women are going to try to be with 2 or 3 men because of cost of living. So, married men or those in a committed relationship, just be faithful to your woman and follow what the Bible says, because it's not worth it. See there, me lose my house, me lose my car, and me I go through a divorce right now. He said it was very stressful because me have a business I run, me have mortgage to pay, and me get 2 picnic a road, what turn out not to even be mine. All of that are expenses and headaches. So he was a cheater. He was a cheater. He was cheating on his faithful wife, him good woman, right? And go out there, and the person who he ends up cheating with has 2 children, and he thought they were 2 children by him. So now he's dividing his finances to support this whole other family on the side. Because woman doesn't get 2 picnic, right? The story gets deeper. He said it was very stressful because me have business to run, mortgage to pay, and me 2 picnic a road will turn out to not even be mine. All of that is just expenses and heartache. The man, who is under 50 at the moment, said that he fell in love with his secretary months after she began working at his business establishment. And about a year later, she told him that she was pregnant. In his interview with the Weekend Star, he said that he was joyful because although he had been married for several years to his wife, they did not have any children together. So I don't know if wifey couldn't have any picnic. Obviously, it wasn't him because somebody else breed. So I don't know, wifey couldn't have any kids or what. But he was happy when the secretary, side chick, get pregnant. I was in a round robin also, and she began attending the events with me, and one thing led to another, and then the sex came into play. I maintained her financially throughout and still managed to take care of my wife at home as well. Round robin, for those of you who don't know what it is, group of people get together, we throw different parties in different parts of the island. Each party, you move your crowd to my party and support it, come buy out my bar and these things. We move over to yours when it's your turn, everybody make a money. It's, you know, under the bartering system kind of thing. You have peas, I have corn. I want peas, you want corn. We exchange and we keep moving, that kind of stuff. So that's what round robin is. He said he was in one of those. So, you know, you have different events you're going to have to go to, these parties. Yeah, we will support John party and, you know, spend our money over there. So she was the side chick who was his secretary. She was able to go to all these events with him. His wife wasn't able to go. So you're out drinking, having fun, and then the sex came into play. He ended up falling in love with the secretary and had babies with the secretary, or so he thought. John said that 3 days after the baby was born, he garnered the courage to break the news to his wife that not only did he have an extramarital affair, but he had fathered a child. He said that she thought that he was joking. Stop playing. I must joke you make with me. He thought that she thought at first that he was joking until he took the infant home to meet her because him said he's not ending his marriage and the woman already know, secretary already know who wifey is, and wifey not giving him no children and him want children. It's a complicated situation. You understand? It's a complicated situation. My wife accepted the little boy and I would get my son every other weekend from the mom and have him spend time at my house with my wife. So wifey accept the out of road picnic and then him go have one more. My wife was understanding, but about 6 months after the baby was born, the girl tell me say she pregnant again. About 6 months after the baby was born, the girl tell me say she pregnant again. My wife did kind of suspect say am I baby, but me never admit it until the little girl born. And wifey accept the baby again. The wifey accept. Boy, Mary, Joseph, Jesus, I want good woman this, sir. Cause I don't know not one Jamaican woman where I got do that. But anyhow, wifey accepts the second baby again. He said the wife suspected that something did go on with the secretary. And when the secretary showed pregnant, the wife said to herself, say, she have a kind of feeling, say, it could be. I wonder if the secretary breed for my husband, kind of thing. John said all this time he was playing the role of a sideman in his baby mother's life, and he didn't know it. When he met her, she was already involved with another married man, and him. so, so married man is her thing, right? She was already involved with another married man when he met her, and him didn't know it. Him thinks, hey, unfair game have to run twice and thrice. You out here cheating and you're being cheated on. That's karma, man. That's karma. John said all the time that he was actually playing the role of a sideman in his baby mother's life and didn't know it. As he met her, when he met her, it turns out that she was already with another married man. In spite of her other affair, John never doubted that he was the father of the two children. However, she began denying his visitation privilege And so he took her to family court because I want to see me picnic them. The distance start chipping. I mean, I get to see the children them. Me report, me report her to the CDA, Child Development Agency, and I told them I need a DNA because I wanted to take her to court for visitation rights. The DNA wasn't done to prove that the children weren't mine because I believed in my heart that they were mine. I just wanted to see my children. Now, when the DNA results came back, I start laugh because me in a shock. Mr. Shock, Mr. Shock, you couldn't do nothing but just laugh. Me in a shock. Me couldn't believe it. Me couldn't believe it enough. Not one, but two of them. The woman I talk about, she not believes that the results real and she don't trust the swabbing thing and all the talk about I must be make up the DNA place. And, she go, she going out with the lie. No, the test not real. Me sure cause you alone me give some. That test they're not real. Me not trust that. Me not trust that place there. And you make up the DNA test, you know. Me feel like you make up the DNA. Boy, when the DNA test come back, me laugh. I couldn't do nothing else but laugh. I was just in a shock. Imagine me I go through a divorce because of this. Because my wife family start to ask her if she a big idiot or what. And if she gonna make me bring in more picnic pan her. He continued. So the wife, being influenced by her family, get up and left. Continuing, he said, me did have plans for me picking them, you know. I had plans for my children. The children were looking bright. And me did I look forward for the little boy to come and take over my business, you know. Me I say, me want him to be a doctor and so on. Me bond with the children, them, you know. Inside the belly. Me did they rub belly through pregnancy and everything, and them is not mine. Sometimes, sometimes me go in on my phone and look at the pictures of the children, them smiling and stuff, man, and it just breaks my heart. Studies have suggested that close to 25% of Jamaican males are currently recorded as fathers of children that they did not produce biologically. In 2021, the matter sparked much controversy when St. James Central Member of Parliament Henry Clark indicated his intentions to bring to Parliament a motion that was calling for mandatory DNA paternity testing at birth for every child that is born on the island of Jamaica. Yo, couple of things here. One, mandatory DNA testing at birth. We're in modern times now. There's no more need for no more excuses. Get it done. The humor in this though, my boy out there chop and getting chopped, right? He, he he's a married man. The irony. You're a married man, you are cheat. But who you are cheat with have a next married man already before you even come in the picture. Him are the real pick to them father, but she get you dum dum to actually support her through the pregnancy and financially take care of. And now your wife gone, divorce are gone, you lose your house, you lose your pick to them because they weren't yours. Boy, that sound like too much losses to take here. So end of the day, he's sharing his experience and he is letting people know, brother, if you're married, you have a good wife, just stay where you're there. Stay at home. The dynamics of their relationship, though, the fact that the wife wasn't able to give him children, I'm thinking that might have contributed. But if that's your wife, you know, we have in vitro fertilization, we have adoption, we have surrogate. So we have so many different ways, right? You know, you got to take on no side woman and all that. And you over there, mind two picnic too. And with your bright self, go introduce the two of them to your wife. Woo! The man said he introduced them to his wife and she accepted them. Accept the little boy first. Accept the little girl next. You go on, good man, you get your peer. You get your boy first and your girl next. All the things wifey couldn't give you because she give you everything else. Yeah, that bun they hard. That bun they don't have no cheese, that dry. That bun they dry. no cheese. And the girl stand up bare face and tell you, say, listen, chill. These kids ain't yours. Is our next man when me there with film pick. No, it's a lie. It's a lie. The test is telling a lie. But she get pregnant quick. That means all along somebody else was in there with you. 6 months after. Wow. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
SouFLo, good morning. I called before.
Yeah.
And comment on this now. It's so many layers. First of all, this married man is sleeping with another woman who's sleeping with other men, and there's age still. You know, that's one thing. Now, the next thing is maybe she doesn't even know who the father is.
True too.
You know, that's another thing.
That's why she said he made up the he made up the DNA and fabricated, and she don't trust the agency that did the swab and
exactly, because maybe she thought it was really his. Okay, that's another thing. Then who is it that can't have children then within the marriage? Because those two children that he thought was his.
True.
Okay.
True.
You see what I said? Layers upon layers.
Yes.
And the third layer.
Maybe he's the one that's busting blanks and wifey can actually. Whoa.
Exactly. Maybe both of them. We don't even know. It's so much confusion that it could be him, her, both of them. We don't know. Because there's so much confusion. Too many people in the bed.
Too many people in the bed.
You know, and whoever she's sleeping with, they sleep on somebody else. Oh, you know, it doesn't. But I think, and I'm a parent and a retired teacher, and I'm talking from the perspective now of these children. Okay, how does all of that confusion affect those children as they grow older and have these questions about their parents and who are they and how should they conduct their lives in relationships?
True.
It's deep.
Very deep. And you know,
and that's I had called before and said, let's talk about what it means to be a man and a woman in a relationship.
Right.
Because it's important that we really know what we're talking about. Because they talk about, I'm a man, what does it really mean though? And we need to be specific and understanding about that.
Right. And now I'm adding the life of Jackie children to this, because I think that we need to have a discussion on that as well. So I have the definition of what man and woman is, and we're going to define those roles, and then the life of children who come up through these circumstances. Right. All right.
And can I just add to
yes.
the earlier discussion about that students and teachers and the fighting? I can relate to that too. That's deep too, and that even comes back to, as you said, to family life.
Right. Yeah. So how they're
and especially for us as Black people. Okay.
Right. Right.
Okay.
All right. I appreciate you greatly. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
So I probably him a bus blank. And but you can imagine how the man proud when him go show a wife him said, "Me I risk my marriage if she want left us so." Because that's the only thing you could be thinking when you get ready to tell your wife about this new picnic where you have out the road. The only thing you could be thinking is, because you got to make up your mind and think, well, if the marriage done, it done. So I'm ready to lose her, right? There's no way you weren't thinking that. And him proudly walk in and talk about, yeah, me a baby out the road, you know. And the wifey is telling you that you got to be joking. You always a run joke. Stop your foolishness. Move. No, me I carry the picnic come one day and make you see him. Yeah, John, whatever. When you bring the picnic come, me will believe you. Boom. Big broad afternoon, you show up with picnic. You're brave. You're brave. And it's a strong woman that to actually say, okay, I accept the child. You sure are yours? All right, me accept him. And him get to spend every other week with us and all this type of stuff. Him gun full of blank shots. SouFLo, not probably. Him gun full of blank shots because he couldn't breathe wifey and him never breathe side. So I him had the problem. Why, brother, your life twisted. You lose house, you lose the picnic them, you lose wife, you're busting blanks. You're rough out there for you. I don't know. Soursop juice and lime here. Soursop juice and lime. I'm drinking mines. So, hey man, listen. When you being deceptive, right, and you think you're winning, it's funny to see the results when time it all come crashing down. A life, a life, a karma. This is when you're being deceptive and you think you're winning. Yes, I'm having my cake. I'm eating it too. I introduce the picnic them to wife. If she accept them, I still have my wife. I still have my business. I still have my good home. I still have my side chick. Even she breed again. Wife, you accept that one day again. Big King Kong of the jungle, and me that. And then, and then, oh boy, let me tell you about karma. See, let me tell you about karma. Listen, we're gonna move on to our last one for the morning, and our last one for the morning is why man can do so sickness, man. And and we say it over and over though. The woman, when women decide to give you back like a little taste of your medicine, I'll kill yourself. Can't take it. All right. This one, haunting words. So I don't know if y'all been keeping in touch. Mrs. Nia says my hubby ex-V traumatized him trying to keep his kids away from him just because he moved on with me and he don't run behind her anymore, even though she left and moved on with another man first. Some women can be very vindictive and they do use the children to leverage their position. And that's foul as hell. I hate when women do that because the poor children, children don't give a damn. All children want is a relationship with two good parents. That's it. Some children don't even care if the damn parent is good as long as you're good to them because they don't know much of what you conduct outside of raising them, like adult affairs. If you're just a doodle type of person, they don't know. They just want their parents. So when you have that going on, and then that again too, that's another part of relationship failing and falling apart that's hurtful. It's to watch the children and to know that she's grown, I'm grown, we can handle this mentally. We know me know some me gonna find a next woman sometime soon. Matter of fact, me see one just pass, right? She knows she gonna find another man sometime soon. She's gonna be all right. Her needs are gonna be met. She's gonna get cuddled again and kiss up on these things. Somebody are gonna give her warm something. But them poor babies, them children don't have nobody else. They have to process that whole thing, right? They just want their parents most of the time. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
Morning, boss.
Real G, big up yourself. Thank you. I appreciate you greatly. Big up yourself, fam.
Boy, SouFLo, may I listen to your program,
Yeah.
And I think my story I tell you.
Wait. Wait a sec. This happened to you?
This happened to me. But in a not 100% color story go.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, it happened to me.
How for your story go?
Yo, alright. Married, I have my wife. I have a side chick same way.
Rotted.
Side chick get pregnant.
Rotted.
Think of my own.
Lord God.
But the thing is that I play my game more smarter. 1 month later, the DNA. Fitting on my own.
Rotted. How you feel one time you do the DNA and the picture wasn't yours?
Well, the woman get pregnant with another married man.
Me rotted.
Dead serious.
So wait there. You and your side chick, you say you didn't feel like say you alone she did that with? You never know about no extra man.
Never know about no extra man. Because I guess so. Before intercourse, every time we always get tested. So it's like, you know what I mean? So if she go sleep with somebody else now and get pregnant, they kind of like, yo,
violation.
The girl has to protect herself.
Yeah.
You see me?
Boy. You know, let's not.
And on the other hand, I have other kids. So, I'm not black me and shoot.
Same. But just never yours.
I just never mind.
Boy, brother, listen.
Boy, story very close.
Yeah, karma, man. I karma, you know.
I tell her.
I karma, man. As
Yeah,
long as
man.
you accept
I
it, I
karma
karma.
for real, man.
Yeah,
But
see
like
that.
the man says still,
Yeah.
as a married man, when you're
Mhm.
married, yo, stay with a wife.
All right, so.
Cheating thing don't make sense, brother.
All right,
On a real
so.
level.
Facts.
You know?
Facts.
And the greatest part, I never lose my wife, or I never lose nothing.
Seeing.
Yes, man.
Seeing.
Yeah. But
you get lucky, not
right.
like the man, yeah.
Eh?
You say you get lucky, not like him.
Yeah, very lucky.
Yeah. All
yeah,
right.
man, but manners, boss.
Manners and respect, brother.
Eh?
Thanks. Mr. Manners and respect, and thanks for sharing.
Yeah, man, for real.
All right. Lesson of the day here is this, right? I say this all the time, but you might have missed it, so it's an opportunity to say it again. Anytime you're cheating, just know that whoever you're cheating with is seeing somebody else as well. Almost always, especially if you're married. Ain't nobody out there that's gonna be laid up waiting on you while Valentine's Day come around, all your flowers gone at your yard, to the woman around at your house, and you're posting her up on Instagram and all these other things. Look at wifey and this, and then she lay down over there, so I wait for you. Not gonna happen. She want to feel love too. She want to get flowers too. She want Valentine's Day sex too. She want birthday cake. She want her birthday cake dealt with too. She want all kind of things. So it's always like that. So me don't know how some man cheat and then feel like say the woman where you are cheat with not have nobody, she being faithful to you, even though she knows that you're cheating on your spouse with her. Yeah, so like I tell you, it's so paradoxical and strange. That's funny to me. Me have to laugh. But karma, at the end of the day, karma is something where easy, you know. Me have to sit down and laugh at karma. Karma licked me in life already. Yeah, that's why I know about karma. That's why me not play around with my energy anymore again. Right? You're young, you're dumb, you learn. Make sure you learn. Don't do it again. Right? It's coming back. Anything you put out there is coming back. Factually, it's coming back. And it come back when you least expect it. And it come back when your heart and soul wrap up in it. It comes back. You know what I'm saying? We have to laugh. God has a sense of humor. I keep on telling y'all. God said, watch this now. Oh, so you're going to move that piece up on the board. Go there, so? I know some me do it. I move that on it. Come over here. So. All right. You like I move there? All right. Watch that one you know. Bam. See it there? King me. Oh, my heart. Oh, but can't take it. And you put yourself in that situation there. Karma no ramp. Karma don't ramp. See it? All right. Well, last topic for the morning now. This whole Klansman one dan gang thing reads like a Netflix series. I don't want to say nothing. I just wanted to listen to them details here. See? All right. And while you're doing that, remember karma. I mean, I tell you, karma is not a joke thing. This is God's way of telling us that you don't control none of this. This universe are governed upon different laws. See? And this. Oh, so you put. Oh no, watch a movie now. And it's always watch the movie now. I could actually see. You funny little human. Watch the movie now. See, you like this? All right. Oh, you don't like the one that. Okay, watch this one now. That's the. Oh, my heart. I can't take it. Yeah, man. Anytime you play unfair game, just remember, you're gonna get yours to here. And nobody tell nobody about no, me not get nothing. I'll be all right. No, you're gonna get yours for real. You will see. My birthday is a national holiday, so if he can't be with me on that day, it's a wrap. Boy, here what? Here's some of the details that's coming out of the courtroom in the Klansman Wandan case. By the way, I put up a video yesterday. Andre Blackman Bryan he got 2 guilty murder convictions in one day yesterday. So all the people them who did a cuss out Judge Sykes and I say that judge I look like him afraid that the gunman them or them buy him off or something like that. Watch my video from yesterday. I put all the details in there. And actually today I'm gonna give you the one with the details. That one is just to tell you what he was convicted for and how they got to the conviction. All right. So whoever did I look for black man to come back on road sometime soon, I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. He already got found guilty of 2 murders at the same time. I think he missed 4 other murders. Is a bag of murder did I go on around here? All right. A brag. Someone was bragging. A brag about 8 shots into a man who was ordered killed by Klansman one-dan gang led to the conviction of one alleged gangster on Thursday when the judge, in finding him guilty of facilitating the murder, accepted his boastful admission. Evidence. The man go up there, go, uh, and brag in front of the court how 8 piece me give the boy. Yeah, I'm shot him 8 times. Just say, okay. Tariq James, the alleged bodyguard of reputed leader Andre Blackman Bryan, was among 4 alleged gangsters. I think his confession might have came from the recordings. Me no know. So Tariq James, the alleged bodyguard of the reputed leader Andre Blackman Bryan, was among 4 alleged gangsters, including Blackman, who were convicted on Thursday of enabling the gang's murder of 2 men in 2 separate incidents. In one of the incidents, 2 former top-tier members of the gang had testified that James was the shooter in the November 2017 murder of a man called Outlaw in Lauriston, St. Catherine, and that he had bragged to them about killing the man. So he bragged to the witnesses, those who were a part of the gang that have now turned state witness. One of the witnesses, who was Brian's personal driver, by the way, the personal driver said, me don't know how me reach a personal driver because me can't even drive. But anyhow, and again, when what did our elders say? When trouble take you, picnic shot fit you or picnic boot fit you. Yeah. Me don't know how me reach a driver car. Me can't even drive. Never drive a car before, Your Honor. Anyways, one of the witnesses, who was Brian's personal driver and the gang's banker, testified that after the killing, James told him that he gave the man a couple of shots, while the other witness, who was a community don and driver of the gang, recalled being told that James pumped 8 bullets into the man and that all of them connect, my brother. The court also heard that Brian had ordered the killing, which was planned by himself and the ex-community don. Subsequently, Brian, James, Carl Beach, and Owen Ormsby were all charged with facilitating the commission of murder by a criminal investigation, but the case against Beach and Ormsby was previously conceded by the prosecution. Now, in delivering the verdict, Chief Justice Brian Sykes pointed to the evidence that James' confession of his role, noting that he could not disregard his say-so. Why should I not take his word for it? I take his word for it. And that Mr. is correctly reporting that what Mr. James said to him. So these are the guys who were members of the gang who started telling in court. Justice Sykes made a point while he was looking at the defense of Beach's lawyer, Cecile Ashton Griffiths, who had argued that he could not have been guilty as another person was charged for the murder already and that there was an eyewitness. Well, end of the day, the judge didn't buy any of that. But Judge Sykes said, the fact that police have charged someone with an offense does not mean that someone else committed the offense. And if that person says, yes, I am the one who did it, or one of those who did it, there's nothing that says that murder by definition can only be committed by one person. Furthermore, he said that the fact that the person was charged was neither here nor there. We have evidence that says your client did it, and I believe the evidence. We don't know the circumstances. Is the person saying it was 1 or 3 persons involved? We can't speculate. What we can say is that Mr. So-and-so says, when Mr. James returned, he was saying that he shot Outlaw. That is what the evidence says. He added, noting that both men were speaking on equal terms as gangsters at the time. So this could be from the recording. Remember, one of them said did have multiple cell phones. Police used to give him cell phone, and he used to go around the gangster them and secretly record their conversations and then turn over those cell phones to the police. Right. All right. The judge explained that he found that Brian and the former community don were the leading light in the planning of this murder, and that James readily lent himself to the execution of the job. Captain J, big up yourself and thank you. I appreciate you greatly. He added that Brian facilitated the commission of the murder by providing support, encouragement, and even the plan, which he endorsed. Brian and two other alleged cronies. Listen, Black Man Brian ain't coming out no time soon. That's for sure. But you best believe that somebody else is waiting in the wings to take up right where he left off. So Brian and two other alleged cronies, Michael Whitley and Brian Morris, they were also found guilty of facilitating the gang's murder of a Rastafarian man on Jones Avenue in Spanish Town, St. Catherine in November of 2017, and the court had heard that Morris and Whitley were the shooters in that case. The judge also accepted the evidence of the two of the former gangsters that Brian had ordered the men to be killed and had also planned all those murders. He provided the shooters, he directed Mackerel to get the firearms, he gave the men a framework in which to operate, and he provided the ground transportation and all that enabled these men to carry out the job that they were assigned to do. He's completely responsible. He facilitated also by putting in place as part of the plans means by which they escaped after committing the murder, the hiding of the guns, and being taken away from the scene where the murder took place. Had a car waiting for them already and everything like that. I don't know if y'all remember, after one of the murder, like him said, he gave them like an equivalent of, I think an equivalent of like $50 to share between three of them, and them go get some KFC and something for smoke, like a bag of weed and some grabber. And people were like, damn, that's what they kill for? Like money for buy a KFC and a bag of weed and some grabber. But hey, so Justice Sykes said that the evidence consistently shows that Black Man Brian's disposition as a micromanager and a planner who was very keen on his details, like a evil genius kind of thing. The judge says Brian was a planner from the beginning to the end, and he did not allow the men to act independently at any point of these missions. Defendant Jaziel Blake has been charged on the count but was freed after the court conceded that there was not sufficient evidence to sustain in this case against him. However, the judge said that based on the evidence given to the roles played by himself and the defendant Ted Prince, it demonstrated that they are members of the organization. Them just wasn't involved in these particular murders. Now, I want y'all to remember something. This whole Klansman one done gang something that's going on. We don't have no dog in this fight. And there's nothing that I say to you concerning this that comes from just me. Right now, I am reading the printout from Jamaica Gleaner that was printed between last night and this morning. So fresh news, me again, because there's nobody inside the courtroom. This is a closed courtroom case. There's no camera in there. We have no idea of knowing what's going on in there. All we know is this seems to be the longest running criminal trial in the history of Jamaica's judicial system and the biggest as well. Never before has so many people been brought in as a unit and been tried, and then these convictions versus people who are getting let go. Like 10 of them have gotten let go so far. So it's not everybody going to prison, but a lot of them are going to prison. See? Way of life for some of these crooks just don't want to work and go around and extort hardworking people. Yeah, they want to live Tekka's life. Not work nowhere, just see you with it and take it. Now, at the time, Justice Sykes acquitted Brian Daniel Mackenzie brothers Pete and Marco Miller, Dwight Hall, and Kemar Harrison of facilitating the gang murder of 2 men from Denham Town. So all those men, name just called, they're free from those charges. The men were freed after the judge indicated that the witness indication of the men was faulty, or the witness identification of the men was faulty. He didn't properly identify any of them. Similarly, Brian, Jazeel, Andre Golding, James, they were cleared in relation to facilitating the gang murder of a bus driver in November of 2017. I don't know if y'all remember that story about the bus driver. The public bus driver that got killed, gunned down. Marco Miller, Chevroy Evans, and Golding were also acquitted in relation to facilitating the gang's murder of a man identified as Tesha bus driver in February of 2018. However, the way is not clear for all of the men, as they still have to answer to the charges of being a member of the gang. That not carrying no big charge in Jamaica. If I'm a member of the gang, what can you put me in prison for being a member of a gang? The charges that need to stick are the murder charges, and whoever get away with those, the judge say, I'm a member of the gang. I'm a member of the gang. Okay. The judge has already signaled that he has found evidence to support the claim that the defendant Prince, Blake, Golding, Fabian Johnson, Stephanie Cole, Christie are members of the gang. Stephanie Cole, Christie are members of the gang. Y'all remember who Stephanie Cole Christie is? All right. Mama Christie, the preacher woman that have a preacher husband that was said to be pastor, preacher, pastor woman. She have her pastor husband too. The day when they went to go pick her up, right, according to court papers, she was actually outside of the church as her husband was getting ordained. And she actually asked the police officers when they came to pick her up if them can just hold off a little bit, make she witness his ordination, and then can carry her go. And the police them say no and draw her away. So if y'all wondering what happened to Pastor Mama Christie, the judge has signaled that he has found evidence to support the claim that her and a group of others are definitely members of this gang. She hasn't been convicted of any murder yet, even though there are accusations that she facilitated a couple of murders as well, right? Of the 33 men and 1 woman who were charged, 26 of them still remain with charges. 6 were freed and 1 was killed last August, like soon after them free him. The trial will continue on Monday, and today is Friday. And I look out for the rest of stuff that's more well put together that I will be releasing for you over the weekend. So by Monday come, you're on top of what's happening in this whole thing. And again, we have no dog in this fight. We don't have no sides. We're just reporting what is taking place, right? It's a beautiful weekend out there. Go out and get you some sunshine. For those of you who have sunshine where you're at, surround yourself with people that love you and with people who you love. Lift your vibrations. Be positive. And don't forget karma. All right? So when you start your foolishness, just remember karma. All right. One love. I'll see y'all later. I'm out. Peace.